John Frost looked on the gathered crowd, now 3,000 strong. With heavy heart, his voice rang loud as he sang this loveless song. God is a guide from field, from wave, from plough, from anvil, and from loom. We come our country's rights to save and speak a tyrant faction's doom. We raise the watchword liberty. We will be free. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order. And bobbies took an oath to be our nation's warders, swearing that they would enforce Sir Robert's Rules of Order. To Newport rose a million friends who rallied each supporter to join this flood of working men against Robert's Rules of Order. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order. Like this, on the steps of Parliament, John Frost stood proud and tall. A hush fell on this great event as he told them one and all, depose the gentry and the crown, depose the House of Lords, or join the Queen in exile by Robert's Rules of Order. So Chartists, Luddites, Communists, recall each faithful martyr who died so you could have your new world Robert's Rules of Order. Say it loud, vote your favor, shout it high. All in favor, you say aye. Favor, aye, favor, aye. A mandate of the people's cry. Favor, aye, favor, aye. Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed, you say nay. Opposed, opposed. The motion carries anyway. Currents change and bring to us our tear-corrupted warder. In chains subdued and ill-abused, he's left with no supporters. Mobility's will can then proceed by our own rules of order, and we'll all cheer for country's sake when Robert's drawn and quartered. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament shall be reborn with Robert's Rules of Order!
Well.
Oh, I know why.
You're on.
Yeah, it's picking down.
Okay.
It was picking up the intro on my phone.
Oh, all right. And look, we get to
Welcome
thank...
to the frazzled hair edition for both of us.
Yes. And we get to thank Sam Bowler. He gave us a transparent Bunchy. See him? Isn't he?
We have a Bunchy dancing on my nipple. Okay.
Oh, it's not working on here. Oh, God, I never got it to work on this show. I forgot. Huh? You know, we need to... We can do it from here. I don't like this profile thing with Ecamm. And I just uploaded an update or downloaded an update. Who knows what the hell this program's going to do right now.
That's why your hair's frazzled.
Yeah. But I love the transparent Bunchy. I'm going to try to get Bunchy as an emoji in Twitch. As a custom emoji. I think I could do...
Custom GIF emoji.
Yeah. Well, they call them emojis in there. I think I can do it in YouTube too if I enabled you...
Pardon my itch. I've been snacked on by bugs all weekend. I'm in a insect salad bar and
You're making me itchy. You know I'm always itchy anyway.
Ask Lydia, is she okay? I'll give you one of my famous back scratches.
Oh my God. God, you're making me itchy. So
my back scratches are legendary. I did one on Angela Keaton once, turned her into butter.
Oh God. So I think I can do it in YouTube too if I enabled like YouTube subscriptions. You know, where you can pay to get extra content. I just need to come up with extra content and I'm so busy. But I think I've got sick enough people who would be a YouTube subscriber.
You could just put a live cam of you working on minutes and somebody probably subscribed to it.
I know. I could do like a live feed, just my fucking day. But I think we have some sick enough puppies who would do it just to have Bunchy. I would do it just for Bunchy.
Give your haters something to complain about, that's for sure.
Oh, God.
Now she's putting out what she did every day, and it's like,
so what?
I don't even read any of that stuff anymore. For a while, I used to check on it but listen, I figured out that there's nothing like, I was always just concerned if they were going to pull something like fraudulent, not with the party, but like with me, like to try to contact people in my life. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I don't even read it anymore.
One of the big deals in this world is that there are people out there who think the government's out to get them, and I'm sitting here going, dude, you're not important enough for them to get you. If you were, they would have gotten you already.
So I just don't even bother. Plus, I got to tell you something. I have a suspicion. I don't think Beth Vest likes me.
No.
I'm starting to get that impression.
Whatever gave you that idea?
I'm starting to get the impression. Either that or she has like a hate hard-on for me.
Well, part of her problem is this. She spends a lot of time saying or talking a lot but not saying anything. And when she does say something, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
So I just stopped reading.
I'm not a lawyer and I know she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Because it's boring. Like,
and it's crap.
So I stopped. Like, I don't even see any of that stuff anymore.
She is a poster girl for what I call posting in bulk shit.
Well, you know now she's going to just talk about us for 6 months now. But anyway.
Proving the point.
There's a few people that I'm just starting to get the impression that they don't like me.
Okay, Gidget.
Like, I care. But anyway.
You like me. You really like me. Yes, Miss Sally Fields.
Yeah, Sally Fields. I was going to say
Gidget,
that, wasn't
yeah.
I?
She was
Oh, I don't know any of that shit.
She was Gidget way back when, yeah.
You know I don't know any of that stuff. JJ says he did. See, he goes and reads that stuff.
Because JJ understands something.
He likes trolling them.
But he knows how to research. All mad credit to you, JJ. You know how to look these things up and properly postulate them in a way that makes sense. There's a lot of people in this world who don't know how to do that. Yeah, it drives me nuts too, as you can tell.
Yeah, well, it doesn't drive me nuts because I don't read. I probably haven't seen a post from that cesspool group in.
Well, you're not missing much.
1.5 months, 2 months now.
You're not missing much. The latest one is their complaint.
No, I don't want. I don't even want to know. I don't. Well,
that's all I'm going to say about it.
Oh, they're complaining about. Listen, okay, I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I didn't like that tweet. I actually don't think the complaints about that tweet are out of line. Not everything the haters say is wrong. That's just a fact. In the LNC membership group, which is the productive group and not the cesspool, there's complaints about that tweet there, and I agreed with them there. Not everything opponents say are wrong. In order to be a healthy human being, you gotta be able to listen, even when it's somebody that's a terrible person. So, no, I'm sure what they're saying is they're blowing it really out of proportion and making it apocalyptic.
And the minute somebody says, well, this is not what you think it is, and all of a sudden they engage in name-calling.
Yeah, it isn't, but people of good faith can read that tweet in a very bad way.
I just said, hey, it's turning government on itself. What's wrong with that?
I don't like it. I don't like that tweet at all, whatsoever. However, I know the context and the heart of the people. I don't want to be interrupted in the middle. Heart of the people, I see it's there. I like burrito, doing it, and the bad interpretations, I don't even want to say bad interpretations, because the good faith negative interpretations are not what was intended. But not everything on Twitter is a home run.
No.
You screw up. Sometimes the way you're hearing it in your head is not the way it's being received. But communication is primarily upon the communicator. If a lot of people are taking it not the way you intended it, you said it wrong. So we are not always going to be perfect.
No.
But people coming at you with all the name calling, I'm not going to be receptive to that.
I'm not either.
But there were people who very respectfully wrote the LNC. They all got a very respectful response.
Yeah.
There was a large discussion about it, And we pretty much came to the agreement that it wasn't a good tweet. We're not going to defend something that wasn't a good tweet, but I'm not going to demonize the team that made it because I know their intentions.
Oh, I'm not demonizing them at all.
No, not you.
No, I know. But my argument is that if you're going to have an objection, be rational about it and have good reasons, not just simply say, oh, that's not libertarian, or you're a bully, or a name calling, all that crap. Have a legitimate, reasonable reason and back it up with good logic to do so. And what you're describing with the respectful notices to the LNC about it, that's fine.
Oh yeah, we got.
But there are people out there who don't do that because they don't take the time to process it in a rational manner.
You want to hear something funny? The people that write and actually get results are not the same people who bitch on social media.
Of course not.
There are a certain group of people in the party that when they have a problem, they actually write the LNC.
Yeah.
And they get results.
Yeah.
You go and complain on social media, I can just tell you, my view of that is you are virtue signaling. You're doing a performative act that goes, look how righteous I am. If you haven't written, people got on my case for complaining. Please don't do that. Thank you. For complaining about Steve Dosbach doing that. He doesn't write us. All he does is complain on social media. And I'm sorry, I am going to point that out. That's not productive. Everyone who has written the LNC respectfully, we get some trolls who all they do is write and post like they're posting.
The last time I wrote anything LNC was when I was giving them a complete a reverse and forward paintbrush bitch slap over how they were treating you.
Yeah, well, that
was months ago.
And let me tell you, when
I wrote Krause one question about something regarding my membership, but that was technical in nature.
Oh, Krause is wonderful too.
Yeah, and that was that. That was minor, but that wasn't a criticism of anything they were doing. It was, hey, I don't understand this. Can you explain it? And he did. So fine.
Everyone who has had suggestions or issues with social media that has written and not name called in their writing has gotten a lot of attention from the social media team, who listens to them, writes them back, and they have a dialogue. But if you're just going to go on Facebook and do this performative virtue show, you're probably not going to get paid attention to, because it's a look at me. It's a try hard look at me.
One of the things that came up there, and I'm going to ask this question because I don't know the answer to it, is someone made a comment on that page. They said, "Hey, are the people who are doing Twitter the same ones?"
No,
on the
they're
Facebook page? They're different.
They're totally different because it's totally different mediums.
That's fair, because they were expressing concern. They weren't complaining. They weren't having a bitch fest, but they expressed concern that the messaging in either place weren't in sync.
Yeah, no, they're not the same.
Okay.
Facebook is for boomers.
Yeah.
And messaging to boomers is different than messaging to shitlords on Twitter. If you don't recognize...
Where's an extra like me fit in?
Yeah, if you don't recognize that Twitter is for shitlords, you're a boomer who doesn't understand Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean...
Fair enough.
And when you are in that kind of murky waters on Twitter, the chances of getting some things as a miss are much higher because you're really, really straddling the line. Let me tell you something sad.
Put my hand here. It looks like a wristwatch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've done a lot of really great positive posts.
Yeah.
You want to know what happens to them? It gets zero engagement. All you people who are complaining, you're not retweeting the good posts. You're not engaging with the good posts. What you're doing is retweeting and engaging with the bad ones.
Which means you're out there looking for things to criticize.
And you're signal boosting what you don't like. And when it's things that you do like, you're ignoring it.
And not giving them the proper boosting that you
get.
Yeah.
The fact is, if you look at our Twitter analytics, all the posts, oh, that's a great post. You're not engaging with it. You're not retweeting it.
Glossing over it.
You know?
Which means you're looking for an excuse to argue.
And here's what's funny.
And I'll admit, on Twitter, I do that too, but I troll the left on that.
Oh, I signal boost the stuff I like, or I'm trolling the left. Or the right too. I troll the right quite a bit.
I troll
actually.
them. I troll them if they act stupid.
Which they do.
There's a lot of act stupid on Twitter.
The left tends to be stupider on Twitter because they're more
vocally.
They're more numerous too.
Yeah.
And Twitter amplifies their voices, so
especially
it keeps
with the bots. Yeah.
ending up in my feed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you think that on Twitter the National Party should be promoting candidates more, I agree. But you want to know how those, you got to understand algorithms. How a candidate posts, how many people it gets seen by, depends upon our ratios, our reach of former posts. And if we want our candidates to get reach, we have to do popular non-candidate posts. And unfortunately, the popular posts are the negative ones. If you want positive posting, you've got to reward that.
And the same thing is true at the state affiliate levels too.
It's true.
Because while the state may do the exact same thing you're talking about, national can retweet that to give some extra good publicity there, and it goes the other direction also.
But we have to have the power, and the way you get the power is from your own original tweets, not retweets.
Right.
And you got to have a consistent history of having a wide reach. Our posts that have a wide reach are the ones you guys are bitching about. You either want the National Party to have zero reach, or you need to start signal boosting the stuff you like. It's market forces.
The milk and toast stuff is not getting anywhere. The edgy stuff is what's getting the reactions. Recognize that. Push the positive edgy.
Yeah, it's if you want something different, reward what you want, and
Ignore the stuff you
ignore what you don't, and suffocate it. Suffocate it through.
Let it die from apathy.
Right. Suffocate it through. I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah.
And signal boost what you do like. Any parent even knows this. I'm not saying treat social, any volunteers like children, but there is truth, and positive reinforcement is going to get the behavior you want rather than negative reinforcement.
I see that all the time on Twitter. People bitch and moan about specific politicians, and it's like all you're doing is just making a lot of noise. But then within all that noise, you will find one or two positive posts, or even just a purely neutral and objective posts, which are actually worth reading and worth boosting.
I can tell you, I did this with the last term when I didn't like the last LNC, and that's putting it mildly. I ignored
Just a little.
I ignored their shitty posts. And when they made a post I even remotely liked, I signal boosted it.
Yeah.
Even that crappy COVID video they made, I didn't say anything bad about it at the time. I signal boosted it because at least it was a step in the right direction. And when they were doing their kissing ass and to the left and refusing to condemn BLM violence, I ignored it. Or if I was going to comment on it, I didn't retweet them. I just commented on it without connecting that account. I complained without signal boosting what I didn't like. I would copy and post maybe and quote it, but I didn't retweet. I didn't comment on it. I just left it alone. Now, I didn't do that all the time. I fall to temptation like anybody else. But with a group I care about...
There are times you just want to go...
Yeah.
I want to reach through the screen and punch this person, but you can't do that.
Yeah, with people I care about, I'm not going to reward things I don't like.
Yeah.
But I'm also now, as a national person, I'm not going to say that was a good tweet. It wasn't a good tweet. But if you're going to come attacking staff that did it or the volunteer team, because I'm not even... Different people make these different tweets. Some of it is staff, some of it is volunteers. If you're going to come after them, I'm going to defend them because you are going after good people. If you're going to sit here and go after Dave and Dave, because we got a couple days, or you're going to go after our communications director, you can kiss my libertarian ass.
Right. And that's the thing, is people don't know what's going on.
Can we not have that right there? Because then I can, thank you.
All right, I'll put it over here.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we should get another little table there for you.
holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, cup holder. Let's go to the auto parts store, get a cup holder, cut off the little tab thingy, and screw it into the desk. There, we're clamping on there.
So that's my suggestion to you. There's been a lot of talk about refining messaging and what's working and what's not. And that has come from people writing us in good faith. The people shitposting about us on Facebook, you're not being listened to. So you get your little kudos from your sycophants, but you're not affecting change. If you care about the party, write us. I'm going to say something and everyone's just going to think I'm kissing Angela's ass. I don't give praise easily. Angela is the best at responding to a potentially volatile situation when members write than any past chair I've worked with. Well, it's only been Nick and JBH, but
Still.
Nick was decent at that before he went a little
Before he
wonko.
went off the edge,
Yeah.
the deep end, yeah.
But Angela, she is very good at this.
I'm gonna throw a question at you here. Okay, if the so-called negative tweets are the ones getting all the push,
They are.
and you got the stats to show this, right? Mm-hmm. Would it make sense to just put out, whether it's in one of the LP newses or somewhere, mention of this, explain, hey, this tweet got this much traffic, this tweet got this much traffic, all the way, and without even commenting why, just saying, just give the stats. Would that might help resolve some of this?
No.
To point it out, to say, hey, this is what's
No,
happening?
people know this. And the ones, there's a certain group of people who are looking for the party to fail right now.
Right.
And I can tell you, I don't care about them.
No, but I guess what I'm thinking here is some insight behind the scenes as to what's happening. Maybe that would help some people who are not sure what's going on get a better idea.
I think anyone with a brain knows this. And I don't think releasing...
I don't spend time tracking that stuff, so don't ask
and
me.
I don't think releasing internal statistics is in the party's best interest. It's could be used by opposition. If people can take what we're saying. I'm giving you the explanation. You can believe me or not.
I'm listening.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about you.
I'm still listening.
Yeah, out there. And any marketer will tell you this. This is just the way
I
it is.
threw the question out because my logic is put out the information and let people make up their own minds about it. But I understand where you're coming from.
No, the raw statistics, not connecting something to a particular post, have been put out, and all it did is have people do the, but actually, okay, fine, fuck off.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, it's like, if it's a damned if you do,
Damned if you don't.
damned if you don't. I'm not
Screw it,
wasting.
just screw it and push forward.
I'm not wasting air on that.
Okay, so let's not waste any more. Let's get to this. You gave me the good segue here.
Yeah, it's just, but the bottom line of what I wanted to say is, I don't think anyone on the LNC, I don't even think the person who made the tweet, in hindsight, likes that tweet. So, if you're continuing to bitch about it, we agree. It's not a good tweet. Move on.
I personally saw nothing wrong with it, but I also have a different perspective.
A lot of members didn't.
Because my children are no longer in K through 12 school.
The problem was the prosecuting part. It made it sound like we were opposing the First Amendment, and I don't think that's an unreasonable interpretation.
I never saw a First Amendment issue when they're in the first place. What I saw was contributing to possibly delinquency of a minor or child abuse.
I don't think that's
speaking as a parent here. Okay, if you're trying to indoctrinate a pre-sexual child into that type of stuff, that's child abuse. I'm sorry. That's not something they should be dealing with at that age.
That's up to the parents to control.
It is up to the parents to control, not the teachers, and that's where the problem lies.
Then I'm sorry, Mike, then the parents need to be taking their kids out of the school.
I agree with
We
that.
need to start putting more responsibility on the parents. I
agree with that, too.
I draw the line at saying we need to be prosecuting teachers. No. That to me was that was authoritarian.
Sure.
That was police state type stuff. No.
Sometimes you got to use the police state against itself, you know?
No. What you use and the tactics you use is what you become. I am not going to become what we hate. So I really, that's the part of the tweet I didn't like. I don't care if we object. Like the people going, nobody's being taught this in school.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah, give me the leftist talking points again. You go, oh, but you're just giving me the right talking points. Bullshit. This is called reality talking points. But when you start going to prosecuting teachers, no, I draw the line there.
David says, running for your school won't affect change. David, you're about 20 years behind my curve. Okay?
So,
Been there and done that.
I've said this opinion, but I stand 100% behind our social media team. Everyone makes mistakes. They're human. And the people like, oh, they're not libertarian. Okay, you take a long walk, because I don't play that not libertarian game.
If you put 10 libertarians in a room and ask them what a libertarian is, you get 25 answers, okay?
Yeah, because
that's reality.
If you're going to be saying our social media team for making that tweet isn't libertarian, you're saying he isn't libertarian because he agreed with it. And I'll cut a bitch for that. If you're saying Mike's not a libertarian, I'll cut a bitch. That's an expression. I won't literally cut a bitch, but I'll verbally cut a bitch, because you don't come after Mike. Yes, you don't come. You don't come after Mike.
Excuse me a minute. Thank you.
I mean, God, we need to just stop this shit. Sometimes, people disagree in good faith. Okay, let's go.
Alrighty.
Now that you all got our monologue, we're like a nighttime show. We do our monologue in the beginning and then we get into it.
To quote McMahon, yes. Oh, I did hear a good. Speaking of Tonight Show, I did hear a good Karnak joke the other day. Remember Karnak?
Oh, Dennis Pratt had this response. New Hampshire. Well, this was a national tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the response. Never mind. I'm already getting a little drunk. New Hampshire libertarians.
Barely touched the first one.
Let me put this on the screen. Oh, I didn't change the bet. Well, anyway. You can kind of read it. I need to change it to white text, I think. New Hampshire libertarians want to end government's imposition of its indoctrination on children. Teachers may teach however they want, but only by consensual contract.
Left-handed.
I agree in isolation, but I also think that parents need to take more responsibility here.
Absolutely.
And they need to take their kids out of the schools.
Absolutely. We didn't put ours into school in the first place to avoid all this crap.
Yeah. You can't voluntarily send your kids into danger and then blame the danger only on the other end. Parents are the last line of defense for their children.
And they should be also one of the first lines.
Well, yeah, they're the first and last lines of defense for the. That's what I've been drinking a little.
That's okay.
First and I'm not absolving the academics that are pushing harmful things onto children without the parents' consent. Mm-hmm. But I'm also saying this is your kid. No one's going to care about your kid more than you.
Yeah, and I can tell you from experience, okay? I went to private school, I went to public school, and my son was homeschooled completely, and he's in a private college. And I can tell you this from experience on both sides of that, as both the student and the parent, that when the parents are involved in the kid's education, the kid gets a better education. And that makes all the difference in the world.
And here's what some people don't want to come to grips with. Some parents are okay with this being taught.
Mm-hmm. And that's beyond my comprehension.
But again, I'm a parents' rights person. So if that's the type of education they want their children getting, that's their right as parents.
Dave says he supports separation of school and state. I support separation of everything in state.
Yes. It's not as easy as an issue as both sides are trying to make it out to be. No. Because it's also easy for me to say, oh, just then don't send your kids there.
And I can honestly say from experience that I got a decent public education from the schools I went to.
But it was a while ago.
It was a while ago. In a lot of ways, and I hate to say this, it was a different era.
No, definitely a different era.
And I had good teachers. I'm still friends with a couple of them.
I know it's easy for me to say, and like Squirrel says, there are kids that have absent parents, or they're in the foster care system, or they're a family living in desperate poverty, and it's really easy for me to say, oh, just homeschool your kids. I am speaking more on principles. I understand that there are hard cases.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not going to deny that, but I can't get into each of those here.
But if the parents are willing to make the commitment to their kids, they will find a way to make it work. And I know this because I lived it.
Well, but the state is preventing them from doing that in a lot of ways, though, too.
I grew up under the poverty line, yet my mother had enough money to send us to private school through the 6th grade, and did it because she felt that was the best thing for us. Was it the best education we could have had? I don't know. Because I don't know what the public schools are
But
teaching.
here's part of the problem: the laws
But she
against
made-
homeschooling. There are
But you have to make it work. That's the thing.
there are impoverished communities that could. There could be a talented parent amongst the community
Sure.
that the rest of the community can band together to support to help them make a
course.
living. They could teach the neighborhood kids, but the state interferes in that. The state makes it impossible for communities to do
There
that.
was-
We need to do more to empower these communities.
There was a very large rise during COVID of private tutors taking half a dozen students or so who were in the public system under their wings as private tutored students to help improve their grades and everything because of how much trouble they were having. And that's still continuing after this. The whole thing of what happened the past couple of years really exposed a lot of these problems, and people started taking advantage of it to do things better.
The fact is, there are enough parents who can do something about it by taking their kids out. I'm not denying that there are parents who are in desperate situations that can't.
No, we're not denying that.
But there are enough who can that if they all did, the system would be forced to change.
Yeah.
And then that would benefit these people who are in the more desperate situations who don't have the options.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, most middle class people, if they want to make the sacrifices for their kids, could do it.
Yeah.
I'm not putting the responsibility on desperately poor people.
There's ways to make it happen, and the trick is you got to want to make it happen, and that's the challenge.
But anyway,
all
so
right, now-
prosecuting teachers, I'm just not on board with. So that was the bottom line there. Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure where we left off last time.
I'll let you know if I've heard this question before.
That's fair, because we're going to pick this up on July 30th, because I'm not sure where we stopped.
That sounds right, but
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I'm a little drunk though.
So, but some of these may sound familiar. Okay, so we'll start with this one. This one I think we might have had, because it looks vaguely familiar.
Yeah, but they all seem vaguely familiar.
Well, that's true. After you've done this enough times, then that's a good thing, though.
No, that is. It means we're learning.
Yeah, it means we're getting this down, and eventually maybe I'll pass the test.
You could pass the test right now. You know that.
Okay. If the bylaws require the election to be by ballot,
I think we might have done this. Keep
I
going.
think we might have done this one, yes.
Say all the things and I'll tell you.
A, no motion is in order that would force disclosure of the
We
members'
did this
vote.
one already.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, the next one is about the report of, program committee. We've done that one.
We did that
I
one.
recognize that. Minutes. Yeah, we talked about this one.
Wait, what's the question?
Minutes must contain, it was
About reports of
about
committees?
made motion of disposition that was withdrawn. Yeah.
Oh, no, we didn't do this one.
I remember asking you this
No,
question.
we did a question on minutes that talked about committee reports, and we talked about how I attach them, but they're not always attached.
I figure. Okay, I'll ask this one.
Well, JJ says we did it, so I'll trust him.
Okay. JJ is probably the most sober person in the room at the moment,
Well, we don't know about
and
that.
I've only had a couple sips.
Well, I've had a bottle, and I'm going boing.
Gotta be careful. By the way, please don't spill your alcohol. That would be abuse. I didn't realize that banging my can into the microphone stand would hurt him. Okay, that's a Sunday. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. I don't think we've had this one.
And is it you asking me?
It's the third, so you're asking me. So
But you already saw the
I
answer.
don't know what the answer is.
You could see it right through the
I
thing.
don't look through the thing. I was looking at the date.
Okay.
I have trouble remembering what time it is, let alone what day it is.
Yeah, we haven't done this one.
Okay.
All right, August 3rd. Dividing the basic rules of an organization. I think we might have done this.
I'll keep going.
Into a. I'm not No, we did this one because the next one's about orders of the day, and we did that. The chairman of a special committee appointed by the chair is automatically the first person named. We did that.
We did talk about that one.
The first order of business in order in a mass meeting, we did that one.
Okay.
When a motion contains a blank, we did that one. The text of a report that is to be published, which has been amended by the Assembly, we did that one.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay.
We had to go into the weeds on that one.
This is a Sunday. Yep, we did this one. Quarterly time interval in sessions of more than a day. We did that one.
We definitely
What
did
a
that
second of a motion means. We did that one.
one. Yeah. JJ had a half a glass of champagne last week. Was it a half celebration?
We did the plurality versus preferential voting in a mail ballot.
Yeah, I remember going to the
We did honorary memberships. Okay, now that was a Sunday. Whose duty it is to ascertain a quorum. We did that one.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember we had a big discussion on that one.
We did whether or not in a trial someone can be forced to testify.
Right. Yeah, because we went through that roundabout.
We did when it's improper for the chair to remain in a chair.
We did that one, yeah.
If a bylaw is ambiguous, its meaning should be decided by. We did that one.
Yeah. By the Assembly.
I don't know if we did this one. Let me look. Where's the
That's
rest?
the last of it.
Oh yeah, no, we did all of these then. So
Oh.
we have to get out of the.
have
That's
to
why
go.
they were up there.
No wonder we were confused.
Okay, never mind.
We interrupt this broadcast for an urgent bulletin. We're confused.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the last date on the...
It doesn't matter. Whatever's next on there.
Well, it's the things. They're not in order.
Well, the last one I had here is the 21st of August.
Yeah, the first one here is the 12th of September.
Well,
October. Okay, well, we'll go with this, I guess.
yeah, we might be missing some days. That's
That won't be the first time. We're in a days half the time anyway.
okay. What? Well, did you look to see if there's any August in there?
This was the top of the pile.
Hold on one
So-
sec.
Whoops, come on. Don't cheat.
September, October. Yeah, we're missing some
Because
August.
this is all like November and shit.
Okay, well, we're gonna start with September 12th. Good, we're catching up.
Yeah, we're actually up to last
And we
week.
could we could go ahead.
Up to last week. Of course, we just skipped a month. So, yeah.
And we've been talking for a while just about LP shit like we do.
Oh, well.
Okay, fine. I'm good with this. I'm good with it. We only missed like 2 weeks, so who cares?
Okay, the Karnak joke. Opens the envelope. He goes, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Opens the envelope. What was Paul McCartney's worst guess on Clue?
I don't understand.
You ever played the game Clue?
No.
No. In the game Clue, you make suggestions that so-and-so a person did in so-and-so a room, a location with so-and-so a weapon.
Oh, Mr. Green in the library
Right,
with a
okay.
wrench.
Exactly.
So he had Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds?
Yeah. It's actually a clean joke.
But when you have to explain them, like...
You, with all your musical background, don't get it? Don't know that
I'm not a
one?
Beatles person.
Oh, man. Okay. So we'll start with September 12th.
Yeah, God. Whew, I've already had a whole thing.
That's what she said.
And I've got a meeting tonight.
Not my issue. I'm not on the LLC. Okay. When voting on a question,
Says who?
test the question. If there is only one member voting in the negative, that member, A, has the right to explain his vote.
No.
B, does not have the right to explain his vote.
Yes.
C, is required to give an explanation of his vote.
No.
D, is not required but may give an explanation of the vote.
B.
It's B.
You're not allowed to explain your vote. The time to do your debating is before the vote is taken.
During debate, yes.
I have to do that a lot on the LNC. Taking roll call and it's something.
We
Like,
have a major argument about that on the state party list.
I'm like, Mr. Elliott, you can't explain your vote. I'm picking on Brian right now.
Okay, the next one's a Sunday, so you get a second one. You
Yay.
get a bonus.
Yay.
It's snarky.
I want more pretzels.
You want more pretzels?
Those were good.
You don't do Smirnoff with pretzels. You do beer with pretzels.
Those pretzels were good. They were better than the pizza. The pizza wasn't so good this time. Didn't like it.
Okay. In parliamentary terms, a session
Uh-huh.
A is composed of several meetings.
Can be.
B refers only to conventions.
No.
C is a complete unit of engagement in proceedings by the assembly.
Maybe.
D, in each event of the members being assembled to transact business at a convention.
It's not just at a convention, so it's that one about the other one where I said maybe. Which one was that?
Which one was that?
I think it was B. Say what B is again?
B refers only to conventions.
No.
You said that was no.
No, C then, right?
It is C.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A was
Yeah.
A was could be right. B was not. B was totally wrong. C was, they say, is the right answer.
Yeah.
The complete unit of engagement in proceedings of the assembly, which is a large way of saying the pile of all the meetings.
Yeah.
And D was just gobbledygook.
It could be one meeting. It could be multiple meetings.
Yeah. The session in each event of the members being assembled to, no. Yeah, the last one is.
We should look this
D
because
is not even written right because I
a lot
forgot
of
a verb.
people, a lot of people don't understand the difference between session and meeting. So we should look that up. And can you tell I have my bullet brown? Look in the screen. Look how pointy.
Here I thought you were just aroused. Chapter 4, section 8. Yeah, we should go into that. Just
Yeah,
to refresh.
yeah.
Page 81.
Because I learned all that from Alicia Matson.
And I remember I was going through this a long time ago, but it's been a while.
But a lot of people don't get the difference between a meeting and a session.
And that's an important thing to know.
It is.
Between just the sessions and the between the sessions and the meetings, and also how the quarterly thing all factors in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So an LNC meeting that's over a weekend is one session,
Okay.
but it's 2 meetings.
Right. A business session at a convention will can go over multiple days and have multiple meetings each day within the session.
Yes.
And the session ends when you adjourn, sign, you die, for the convention.
Right.
Not the rest of it.
Right. Multiple meetings end
Yes.
when you adjourn for the day.
Correct.
And it makes a difference. I'm trying to think of what motions it makes a difference in, but it does. It's probably in reconsideration and things like that. That's why you don't. That's why it's important to properly
Know the
recess
difference. Yeah.
or adjourn. Because if you adjourn, you're closing that meeting, and when you come back in order, it's a different meeting, even if it's on the same day.
Right.
You're still in the same session, but that's the difference.
does that-
Adjourn closes a meeting, recess just pauses
Now,
it.
let me ask a question. Does that apply to adjourn to time certain? Or
No,
am I-
that's an
am I-
adjourn too.
Am I
That's
getting-
different.
Okay, fair enough.
I-
I'm trying to keep things straight, you know?
Well, I'm
Both for us and for people that listen.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, if it's in the same,
It's in the same session.
no, it's in the same session.
Right.
But I'm trying to say, if you, no, it's a continuation of the same.
Meeting, isn't it?
JJ, if you're in a meeting and you set an adjourned meeting, is it still the same meeting or is it a new meeting within the session? Yeah, we both agree it's the same session.
Okay, here we go.
But is it the same meeting?
82. An adjournment, that is an act the assembly is adjourning, terminates a meeting. It may also end the session. If another meeting to continue the same business or order of business has been set for a definite time, or to be at the call of the chair, the adjournment does not end the session.
Okay, but it's a new meeting.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. So adjournment always ends a meeting.
Right.
It may or may not end a session.
And that's a function of whether you're adjourning to another meeting or whether you simply run the session.
Gotcha.
Period of time ends.
Gotcha.
Got it. Yeah. Because the quarterly thing, this is where I get a little lost. The quarterly thing, you have X number of sessions within that quarter, right? Or meetings within that quarter, and that constitutes a session.
No.
Okay, help me out.
The quarterly thing is on how I'm a little drunk.
That's okay.
You can't postpone something to, like, say, you want to hear this emotion at another meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. JJ, help me out here. I'm a little drunk. You can't take something out of the hands of the current session and put it off beyond a quarter.
Right.
It has to be within that quarterly time frame.
Right.
But JJ, help me out here, where the quarterly thing comes important, because it doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't, but it's because of the quarterly thing. It is.
Let's look it up.
Okay. Recesses break within a meeting. The session has one or more meetings. We know that.
Because this came up with something Alicia wanted to do once with the quarterly thing.
Yeah.
Quarterly time interval, adjournment effect, postponement not possible beyond. That's what I had talked about. Mm-hmm. I know it has something. I know it has an effect on reconsider and enter on the business on the minutes. So let's look at postponement. You cannot postpone something to a meeting beyond the quarterly time interval. Yeah. So I did have that right, but isn't there another thing that comes into play with that? So I'm looking at my thing. 14.7.
I'm still running around at 8, so.
It says 14.7, but it doesn't really talk about it here. Okay, in cases where more than a quarterly time interval will elapse between meetings,
there we go.
A question cannot be postponed beyond the end of the present session, because the next meeting will not be until another quarter.
That makes sense.
Okay. But there's something else I'm trying to find. So look, 9.7 through 9. Oh, lay on the table, JJ says it affects as well.
That makes sense. Because if you lay on the table when the session ends, or the quarter ends, then it's dead. So if you're in the last day of a quarter in your session, and you move to lay on the table, and it's not going to get picked up before the quarter ends, it's the same thing as postponed indefinitely, really.
But I'm just looking up several references. We'll be ready to move on in a minute. The postponement thing is what I was getting at, but there's something else that's like niggling in the back of my mind here.
Oh, I think I found it. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 9.6 roughly.
Yeah, I found that one. Yeah. No, here's what. Matters temporarily but not finally disposed of, except those that remains in the hands of a committee to which they've been referred, fall to the ground when an adjournment closes a session in a body that will not have another regular session within a quarterly time interval. So it would have to be renewed. It can't just be brought back. So that's the time limit for like the bringbacks.
JJ says notice is also required to be sent if the next meeting beyond the quarterly time. Yes, that's true. But that doesn't. But the quarterly drop-off does not apply to a committee that's still doing their work.
Right.
Yeah, that's outside of that.
Yeah. So it says this business can be introduced at the next session, the same as if they've never been brought up before. Yep. So that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, here you go.
Okay. I don't like this. Ah, that's so satisfying.
Here, take a sniff.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're stiff and glued.
Are you ready?
No, but we'll go anyway.
Which is not a characteristic. So we're on the 15th.
Okay.
Because I need that for. I'm still chopping up these episodes. I just have been doing it very slowly. I'm still in April. Which is
she's the butcher of RONR.
Which is not a characteristic of the motion to reconsider.
Okay.
It can be made. Excuse me. It can be made only by a member who voted on the prevailing side.
No, it can be.
A member cannot waive the secrecy of his ballot. That's B.
Yeah.
C. The making of the motion is subject to time limits.
No.
B. If the motion to be reconsidered.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Technically, no, but because what we just discussed, yes. But anyway.
No, it's not a characteristic.
Oh, not a characteristic.
This is a not.
Yeah, so it's not subject to.
Okay, you want me to start over?
Please do.
Okay. Which, I know these not ones get me.
Yeah, they drive me crazy too.
Which is not a characteristic
of
the motion to reconsider.
All right.
A. It can be made only by a member who voted on the prevailing side.
We know that they can do that. That's not the case.
B, a member cannot waive the secrecy of his ballot.
I'm not sure about that one. Keep going.
Do you know what they're talking about here?
No, I don't.
Okay, in order to prove you voted on the prevailing side,
I see.
if it was a secret ballot, you have to waive the secrecy of your ballot.
Whereas with a roll call, it's already on record anyway.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, got it.
C, the making of the motion is subject to time limits.
And this is not a characteristic?
Right.
And you're saying that the motion is not subject to time limits?
I'm not saying
No,
anything.
what it's saying. What is it saying?
It's saying yes, that it would not be.
So we got two knots there.
No.
What?
Okay.
Read C again.
No, look, I can cover the answer.
Okay, so it's not a characteristic if the making of the motion is subject to time limits. Okay, so there's only one knot in there. Okay.
Right. And D, if the motion to be reconsidered was adopted by unanimous consent, any member then present may later move to reconsider.
Well, D is an extension of A. So those two will both go out the window. So it cannot waive the secrecy of the ballot or the making of the motion subject to time limits. The making of the motion can be subject to time limits, as we just discussed, because of the quarterly thing. So I'm going with B.
It is B.
Yeah.
You can waive the secrecy of your ballot to prove that you have the right to make a motion to reconsider.
But then if it's not a roll call, then it's just your word.
Well, a secret ballot is...
Oh, the secret ballot, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it said. You can waive the secrecy of your ballot.
Ah, okay. Hey, I got one. What a concept. I'm on the board. I'm still down 2.
Okay. Well, while you're doing this, I'm going to go...
She's got to go. She's got to go refuel her alcohol.
I do, and then I'm going to have to pee soon.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm almost out. I got wine though. But I have an LNC meeting tonight. I got to finish minutes.
Well, what'd you grab?
Reds.
Hard cider. Okay.
Yeah, will you open this for me? I like Reds. Reds is really good. Yay! Thank you.
There you go.
I can drink a shit ton of this stuff. Now I need some pretzels.
Well, if you're gonna have wine, I was gonna give you some cheese, but I got it over here. But anyway. Okay. Are you ready for the 16th?
I am ready for the 16th.
Okay. That was a couple days ago.
Yes.
Okay. In the election process,
Says who?
says the question.
I do this to Wayne all the time. I drive him crazy with that. He'll just make statements, and I'll be like, says who? Says who? Says who, Mr. Authoritarian?
It is a recommended practice.
Wait, start over.
Okay. In the election process.
Yes.
You're supposed to say who says who.
Says who?
You're the divorce lawyer. It is recommended practice to A, require the nominating committee to nominate more than one candidate for an office. What?
No, we don't use nominating committees. Those are stupid.
Yeah. B, limit the voting to the 2 leading candidates.
No.
Sorry, that's a no.
Brr, I got a cold. A goose walked over my grave.
I take top 2, and I want you to die in a nuclear holocaust.
Crying for its mama.
Not in a fire. A nuclear holocaust.
Crying for its mama.
No, it doesn't need a mama. C, because it's a bastard anyway. C.
Bastards have mamas. They don't have daddies. They have daddies, but they don't have daddies.
Well, maybe.
Who's your daddy?
In this era of cloning, who the hell knows?
Who's your daddy, Mike? I don't know who my daddy is. I got daddy issues.
That's between you and Wayne to figure out. C, declare the nominating ballot the electing ballot. That's that what? Look.
Okay, we don't do that, so...
Doesn't make any sense anyway. D, require that the name of all nominees remain on each repeated balloting.
You need a special rule of order to drop. So what's it go again, the first one?
You mean you mean A or?
No, the
original
question.
The original, okay, in the election process, it is recommended practice.
Oh, D.
Yeah, it is D.
Yeah. recommended isn't a required thing. Let's look at what that nominating ballot thing is, because we don't do that.
Well, the idea of declaring nominating elected ballot is kind of stupid in the first place.
I'm not sure what it means.
Okay. Chapter 14, Section 14.
I don't like this whole nominating committee thing. That seems so fucking authoritarian.
Versus a vacancy committee. Let's see. 440, what?
Well,
Section 46. I'm reading
D,
this
it's
wrong.
actually dissimilar, Nathan. We drop the lowest vote counter, whereas D said it's recommended not to do that.
But we also have that set as...
We have a special rule of order.
Special rule of order to handle that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't looking at the wrong sections. Section 46.
Yeah, what's it? Oh. Okay, Nick. Did you see that video I posted of the millennials? Wait, no, it said Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z getting hit by the ball.
Yeah, I saw that.
Daddy, my pussy hurts!
Yeah, the Gen Xer just kind of moved aside and went on past.
Yeah.
One goes out. I started crying. I was like,
No, but he said, Daddy, my pussy hurts.
yeah. Was it the boomer that just dodged and the Xer got hit or something?
I know, no boomers were in there. It started with
Right.
X.
The boomer would just punch the ball
Yeah.
back. Yeah, he's like, get out of here, bam. Is about anyone?
I still don't understand what that means.
Okay, hang on. Let's get to it. 441, 18,
No,
21.
so the Xer dodged.
Yeah, you just like
The millennial got hit and was like, ow, fuck.
what?
And the Zer's like, ow, Daddy, my pussy hurts.
So the boomer would just stick up a hand and deflect it.
The boomer is the one throwing it.
Well, that's the silent generation doing that because you don't hear it coming. Anyway, okay, 441, 18 to 21 says the following.
What section?
46.
Oh, fuck you. Okay.
I already said it 3 times.
Okay, where are you at now?
Section 46, 441, 18 to 21, which falls under the section called ballot election under elections.
Okay.
A couple paragraphs in.
I'm not fine.
It's ahead of Viva Voce section.
Oh, okay. Living Viva Voce. Okay, what?
Okay.
Right here?
Keep going. Next page. After number 2. So, let's see. In an election, yeah, it's in this paragraph right here.
Okay.
In an election of members of a board or committee in which votes are cast in one section, almost said session there, of the ballot for multiple positions on the board or committee, every ballot with a vote for one or more candidates is counted as one vote cast, and a candidate must receive a majority of the total of such votes to be elected.
That's not what I wanted to know. I wanted to know about the nominating.
There's more.
I'm reading it. I don't see it.
In such a case, if more than one prescribed number receive a majority vote, the places are filled by the proper number receiving a large number of votes. If less than the proper number receive a majority vote, those who do have a majority are elected,
Right.
and all others remain as candidates for this repeated balloting. Similarly, if some receive a majority but are tied for the lowest position, then all of them can remain as candidates in the next ballot. Okay, now, the question was, when does the...
No, I was talking about the nominating ballot becomes the electing ballot.
Right.
But to answer Nathan, an organization could adopt a special rule of order so that the nominee with the fewest votes is dropped from the list of nominees for succeeding ballots, which is what we do.
I'm glad we do.
But I'm looking for the nominating ballot thing, because I don't understand what that means. So it's probably under nominating committee.
Ballot election 1. All nominations can be completed before any balloting takes place, in which case voting for office is conducted by a single ballot.
Okay, the object of a nominating ballot is to provide the members with an indication of the sentiments of the voting body, which they may take into account in voting in the election. So you're voting on nominations.
Where are you at?
this was back a few pages.
Oh, okay. I was going the wrong direction.
The value of the nominating ballot is that it shows the
Aha,
preferences
gotcha.
without electing anyone.
Gotcha.
The nominating ballot is conducted in the same way as an ordinary electing ballot, except that everyone receiving one vote, is nominated. The teller's report, therefore, does not state the number of votes necessary for nomination. So we never do this. So basically, they're saying you send out a ballot to nominate.
Right.
And what this question was saying, you could just make that ballot the electing ballot.
Based
Which
upon the
no,
numbers that come back.
no,
Yeah,
right.
don't wanna do
Okay,
that.
got it.
Okay.
We never use nominating ballots. Like I've never seen that happen.
Okay, but I understand what that was interesting because it's like the idea that having the nominees, the nominee ballot be the same as the electing ballot, and it's like what?
No, because
they're trying to save time, but I would argue that it interferes with the process.
well, because when the people were putting that down, they might want to nominate somebody because they'd like to see them have a chance, but they don't intend upon voting for that person. It's a difference. I'm willing to nominate people for all kinds of things. Doesn't mean I'm going to vote for them.
Yeah, same as like seconding a motion. Doesn't mean you're going to vote
Yeah,
for them.
it just means that
So
you
want to get
think
it out there, yeah.
that they should be a choice before the body.
Yeah, you just want to get it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's for
Don't
that
cheat.
one? I'm not cheating. I was looking over there.
Oh, that was me. So wait.
I
who's-
asked you. And,
Now I'm asking you. No,
yeah. What day is it?
it's odd.
What? Yeah. It's the 17th, isn't it?
And am I
Constitution
odd?
Day. No, I'm odd. I'm always odd.
So you're asking me?
No, you asked me.
It used to be that you would ask the
No,
odd
you asked the oddball the odd questions.
Okay.
Remember? It's always been
You're
like
taking
that.
advantage of a drunk woman. I think this is some
If I
kind
was
of.
taking advantage of the drunk one, we wouldn't be on the air.
Okay, you ready? Interesting. What? Okay.
I don't know.
You like how I look at it first and go, huh? Yeah. Hold on.
No, this is when you need this is when you need the Tim Allen.
If certain standing committees
Okay.
are enumerated in the bylaws,
Okay.
A, the Assembly may create additional standing committees by a majority vote. B,
Excuse me.
no other standing committees may be created unless the bylaws are amended. C, the President may create additional standing committees. D, the Board may create additional standing committees.
I'm gonna go with A, and I'll tell you why before you tell me if it's right or wrong. Okay. C and D don't make any sense because of the nature of it being a standing committee. B said that they can't do any further ones.
It says no other standing committees may be created unless the bylaws are amended.
I don't think that's the case either. There might be an argument about a principal interpretation. They're saying that which is not otherwise permitted is prohibited, but I would argue that the Assembly has the authority to create whatever the hell they want, so that's why I'm going with A.
It's B.
It is B?
Let's look at this. I don't know if I would have gotten that. And I think it is what you're saying. I don't, they didn't reference that here, but I think that principle of interpretation would follow. But what's it say?
Section 50.
It's the whole section.
And
Yep, JJ says expression of one thing prohibits things of the same class. We don't have class here.
except the Assembly can ultimately determine the interpretation of the bylaws, so they can still do it anyway because it overrides Roberts in the first place, which is where I was going with it.
Not if it's a continuing breach of the bylaws. They could do it, but it's invalid.
Well, they can change, the will of the body overrides. Remember, you said that how many zillion times?
Yeah, but a point of order can be brought up again and again and again because it's a continuing breach of the bylaws. And ultimately, I mean, legally it's null and void, whether the body recognizes that or not.
So the body says, screw you, we're calling it good, move on.
Next body can continue to bring it up, continuing breach.
Yeah, they can continue to bring it up and they can be shut down because that becomes the point of being dilatory because it's already been decided by the Assembly. Anyway, 491, 29 to 31. Okay, this is under a section which is titled Standing Committees in Committees. It's Standing Committees is in italics, if that helps at the beginning of the paragraph.
No, I don't know where it's at. You go
It's
on.
back at the beginning of section
Oh, it's the
50.
beginning. Okay.
Yeah. It's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
Standing committees. Got it.
10th paragraph after a couple of bullets. So next page. It's going to be right in here.
Okay.
Okay. If a standing committee's assigned function does not affect a rule of parliamentary procedure in any of these three ways, the three bullets previously listed, it can be established by a standing rule adopted by a majority vote without notice, even though in such a case the committee is frequently constituted by name in the bylaws as indicated above. If certain standing committees are enumerated in the bylaws and an inference arises that there shall be no others unless the bylaws also include a provision of authorizing their appointment, and without such a provision, no standing committee aside from those enumerated can be established unless the bylaws are amended to include it. A standing committee of a society reports to the assembly of a society, not to the executive board or board of directors, which is why the board can't establish them, unless the bylaws provide otherwise. In some societies, standing committees in effect have charge of certain branches of the organization's work, which can't something because it's a hole in the page, in which something these committees are really in the nature of boards. In which case? Which case? Okay, yeah, my page has a hole through half the word there.
They changed the wording a little bit in this edition.
Okay.
They tightened it up. It says if certain standing committees are enumerated in the bylaws, no standing committee aside from those enumerated can be established without amending the bylaws unless the bylaws also include a provision authorizing the creation of additional standing committees.
That is clear.
Yes, yeah. Your sentence kind of rambled on a little.
Well, it did.
It did. Not your fault.
No, I know. No, it did because it did ramble on because the authors of Roberts don't know how to say things concisely.
Well, they tightened that one up a little bit.
But, okay, I understand what they're saying, but I would also argue that the eventual interpretation of bylaws is up to the body.
But what they can create is special committees.
Sure they can.
Rather than a standing committee. Because a standing committee is like in the it's kind of circular. I mean, it's in the bylaws. No further act is needed to bring it into existence. So,
and this is one of those cases where they could simplify Roberts to simply just make them committees and to hell with the standing and special stuff.
Yeah, but standing committees don't require an additional act of the body to bring them into existence. It does to populate them.
Yeah.
But a separate motion doesn't need to be to create them.
That's just how you constitute them in the first place. That could already exists. Anyway.
What does AIP do with this? Do they just have committees or do they divide between standing and special?
I think they go to the restroom and talk about it.
You want to know a committee joke? So on Gutfield, I heard this clip the other day. He said, this is typical Americanism. He goes, football. They have a committee meeting, then violence. Committee meeting, then violence.
And occasionally they have an intervention.
Who's calling me? Go away.
And occasionally...
Ah!
Now we just lost all our camera settings.
I'll go fix that.
Yeah, and in between occasions, if they get too violent, then they have to have another committee meeting to sort by a third party to sort it out.
Well, this way you can see the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least the tick marks anyway.
Yeah, well, because
Banners,
the heretics
the
thing.
Banners in the way.
Now you can see the scoreboard.
There we go. Yeah, she likes her 69. But anyway.
Is that me? Yeah. Bung chugga wow wow.
Okay. Are you ready for this next dumb question?
We should also now start bringing down the AIP book because sometimes I'm going to have questions like that. I joined AIP, by the way.
Oh, I hope that you dealt with the incontinence.
Shut up. I joined AIP, by the way.
Incontinence hotline, please hold.
I'm going to just continue till you recognize what I'm actually saying. So I
joined the AIP.
Okay. But apparently they're teeny tiny.
Well, yeah.
And nap is the big one.
That's what she said.
But I did.
You like big naps.
I do like big. I like big AIPs too.
That's how you get your rest. Okay. Regarding the motion to fix the time to which to adjourn.
Yeah, what about it?
You sound like a mafia dog.
Oh, I'm on it.
He's like a mafia dude. One of these days you're gonna pass out on the air. I'm just gonna look at you like, okay.
Go on.
Okay. Regarding the motion to fix the time to which to adjourn, the chair should A, be sober, no. A, if adopted, instruct the secretary to send the required notices.
Instruct the secretary?
Instruct.
The chair should not strike the secretary.
Instruct.
Okay, start over. I'm sorry, I'm completely lost at this point.
When we do take a break for you to go use the restroom, take a Q-tip and clean your ears out.
Start over.
Okay.
Please.
Regarding the motion to fix the time to which to adjourn.
The chair should.
The chair should. A, if adopted, instruct the secretary to send the required notices to each member. B, if defeated, use the authority of the chair to set another meeting to continue the session's business. C, if adopted, declare the meeting adjourned.
No.
Or D, in stating the motion, include the time to which the meeting will adjourn.
D.
It is D.
Yeah, that's the only one that made sense. I knew it wasn't C, and A and B just baffled me.
Well, A was saying that if it was adopted, then the secretary say, be there. B says, well, you don't want to, I'm going to send it myself.
Yeah, I don't think another notice is sent. That's why I don't think A is right.
No, it doesn't need to be.
Because it was done in the meeting.
But D was definitely in the motion. Yeah, I mean, because it has to be in the
But
motion.
I'm curious about that notice thing, so I do want to look at that.
Okay,
because
thank you.
some people will say,
245.
what about the
Section
members
22.
that weren't there? They won't know that there's an adjourned meeting. Shouldn't a notice be set?
245, section 22.
What section?
22.
Oh.
22.
You're wearing a tutu? Okay.
Well, yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's a ballerina with one leg wear. A 1-1.
Where are you at in here?
Bonk.
Bonk.
Boink.
Keep going.
245.
Where?
245, section 22, under form an example.
Form an example.
You gotta go forward a little bit. Yeah, right
Right
there.
there.
It's the very first paragraph. It's actually,
Yeah, but-
the second paragraph, excuse me.
But I want to know about the notice thing. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, right here. Unlike a special meeting, an adjourned meeting, so in 22.9 is the new citation, so it's just a few paragraphs before. Unlike a special meeting, an adjourned meeting does not require notice, although it is desirable to give such notice if feasible.
That's 244.
Look at JJ.
21.
JJ's being a badass. The absent should have been there. Fuck them.
What about the ones who were there and were still absent?
JJ's like, fuck those guys. You're cold-hearted, dude.
He's a cold-hearted
A snake. Look into his eyes. Uh-oh.
JJ.
He's been telling lies. Oh, God. It's pretty sad. You know the lyrics to Paula Abdul songs.
Hey, she was a good singer and she had some pretty good videos.
Well, she's pretty hot, too, so. Are you ready?
It's the promise of a new day, but yes.
The chairman of tellers. You better get this, you
one right.
motherfucker. Okay, this isn't the way we do it at convention, so I forgive you if you get this wrong. Because, yeah.
Somebody create excuses.
Yeah, I'm already making excuses for you. A, does not read the number of votes cast for each nominee. B, declares the candidates elected.
No.
C, does not read the report if there is no election. What the fuck is he even there for?
That doesn't make any sense.
D, reads the report and hands it to the chair.
I'm going to have to say D.
It's D. It's D.
Because it doesn't say read aloud. And A, what was A again?
But I think they
What
do.
was A on there?
A does not read the number of votes cast
No,
for
that's
each
not
nominee.
that's not the teller's job.
We don't do
not
it
allowed.
this way, but they actually do read it aloud normally.
The teller does?
Yeah.
Oh.
And hands it to the chair, and the chair then declares it. Let's look at that. I'm pretty sure
I just say here.
I'm pretty sure they do read it aloud. In the LP, we just say here.
Yeah,
but
we just hand it off because, let's face it, as head teller, I don't want to be on the microphone saying that crap because people start throwing shit at me.
Oh, JJ says no election equals no majority. I just thought, hey, we're not having any kind of like election here, but let's just get the chairman of the
Okay.
tellers up here for the fuck of it.
Section 45.
We're voting on bylaws, but let's get the chairman of the tellers up here.
One of these days, I want to walk up on stage at a national convention as a head teller, and I'm going to put a sandwich board over my shoulder with a big bullseye on it, and it's going to say "Throw fruit here." And
I think they do read it aloud, though. JJ, do they read it aloud? I think they read it aloud.
Okay, it's in section 45. There's a page in there called Teller's Report and Chair's Declaration of Result. It's like a big, I think go back one page. I think you're right there.
Yes.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, the chairman of the teller standing addresses the chair and reads the report. They do normally read it out loud. We don't do that.
Right. Yeah, we just hand it off, so here, you read it.
Well, particularly in conventions that you do, the reason we don't do that is because of our process of displaying the results and
Right.
allowing challenges.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is simply this. Okay, let them handle it, and because we're just staff.
Yeah, but it's our procedure. If it was just you guys counting, I think we might even do it that way. But because we allow time for the delegation chairs
Right.
to do it, that's why we don't do it that way. Because the chair always instructs the secretary. Wilford messed up a couple times, but I've messed this up a couple times too.
Richard, I've never read a report out of as head teller. And I ain't about to start now.
But you want to know what? In order so that people are learning proper procedure, at LNC meetings where we have people do on our little committee elections, we probably should have them start reading it aloud so people start learning that procedure. But at convention, that's never going to happen because of our verification. Because the chair even tells the secretary, don't go past Wyoming. Do not scroll the screen past Wyoming. Don't show the finals total.
Right.
I actually am going to, in the next convention, before I display the screen, I'm going to black out that totals.
You could revise those sheets and just take the totals off that
No,
page.
I want to be able to see it to make sure everything looks like it's adding up properly. But before I hit display, I'm going to highlight the column, put black over it,
Okay.
so that some people don't accidentally see it. Everyone wants that second tab to be the big reveal.
Right.
You know, where it says elected and
That's
all of
why
that.
I'm saying you take the totals off if you wanted.
Yeah, but I like eyeballing to see if everything looks kosher.
Yeah.
You know.
That's fair.
So, but I'm going to put that in the convention secretary's manual that I'm writing. I'm writing a secretary's manual right now. I just started. I'm like 3 pages in, but like, can you believe we haven't had a secretary's manual in 50 fucking years?
Yeah, because our argument is simple. You know, as a teller, I don't want to be in the position to read that crap aloud.
Yeah.
Because I'm just the staff. Yeah. I'm just the numbers monkey.
But
let the people in charge take care of it.
But at LNC meetings, I think I'm going to start saying we need to do that, because I like LNC members to be learning experiences, because a lot of state boards and future state chairs learn how to conduct their meetings. But I learned before I started studying Roberts, I learned everything I knew from LNC meetings. And I learned some wrong things. Not very many, though, because Nick was a very good chair. And some of the things he did wrong weren't him, it was kind of our custom.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, next question. Where the hell's the sheets? Oh, I'm asking you now, because I just got that right.
I had it buried.
Hiding it so she can cheat. Look at that.
Of course. Of course. Oh, by the way.
Oh, it's a Sunday.
Oh, so you get another one.
Unless you want to take I can discuss this while you take your quick pit stop.
Yeah, let me go pee.
Okay.
Don't cheat, though.
Oh, gee, I'll read this current one. This is
Well, no, give me that stack, because I don't trust you. Okay, I'm putting this here. You all can tell me if he goes for it.
The next answer is B. Anyway. No, I don't know what it is. I'm just making that up. Okay. This was a Sunday one for the 20th. The quotation is as follows. In a convention or conference consisting of several meetings, the suppression continues throughout the entire series of meetings and in ordinary societies throughout the weekly, monthly, or other meeting as the case may be. Consequently, the adoption of the motion to postpone indefinitely is, in effect, an indirect rejection of the main motion. The suppression continues until morale improves. Yes. Okay, so that's in page 128, which is section 11. Way back in the beginning. I need to take a break and blow my nose here soon. Okay. The section is about effect on the pending motion for postpone indefinitely. The effect of postponing a question indefinitely is to suppress it throughout the current session. So that means at the session ends, the postponement indefinitely dies. It can be brought up in the next session with proper notice. In a convention or conference consisting of several meetings, the suppression continues throughout the entire. That's what I just read off. Consequently, the adoption of the motion to postpone is in fact an indirect rejection of the main motion. Well, it's not really indirect; it's a direct rejection. It's just that you're not bringing it to a vote to reject it. You're just saying we're not going to address this completely. Okay, so maybe it is indirect, but it has the same effect as saying voting it down. So the moral of the story: postpone indefinitely. It stays dead unless you reconsider it. But if the session ends, it's done. So we will pause for this important commercial message while she's busy joining the AIP. I just hope she flushes afterwards.
All right. Wait, you're done?
Yes.
Okay, I was talking with Wayne about painting.
I was talking about postponing indefinitely.
Okay. I was talking about...
The whole context was that it continues throughout... The suppression continues throughout the session.
Yeah. Plus, I was bugging Wayne. I'm like, did you make member renewal calls? You did. Yeah.
Okay.
I need a drink because I peed a bunch of it out, so I need to replenish.
I told you. I told them you joined AIP.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just flushed afterwards, I hope.
Did he
wash your hands.
Go and look?
No, I didn't go and look. But the next answer is B. Why? Because I'm making it up. No, I've got witnesses on camera. I didn't go anywhere near.
Do you think I trust these people? Look at them.
Oh, you insult the audience, why don't you? Yeah.
I do all the time. Oh, God.
Yes?
I'm glad you got this and not me. I'm triggered. I feel attacked. When a vote is required for expulsion from membership.
Oh, God. I wonder you feel triggered.
I feel attacked. A. What vote is required for expulsion from membership? A. A majority. B. A majority after notice to the offending member. C. A unanimous vote of the members present.
No.
D. 2/3.
You mean A and B again?
A. A majority.
B.
B. A majority after notice to the offending member.
And this is just a motion for expulsion.
What vote is required for expulsion from membership? We don't do that in Colorado. We don't do that nationally either.
We're supposed to do it national. Okay. It's either A or B. It's not C or D. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because the unanimous one is ridiculous and 2/3 doesn't make... Well, I take that back. I take that back on D. Wait a second. D was 2/3?
Mm-hmm.
That's all it said.
Yes.
Just 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A was a majority and B was a majority with notice to the offending person.
Yes.
Okay. Now then.
I'm burping, sorry.
That's all right. So, walking you through this, this motion to expel would happen if done properly, keywords here, after an investigation and trial and all that shit, right?
I'm not saying a word, because I wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, it's true, because you didn't have the proper procedure.
I wasn't expelled either, but...
Well, they would have if they could have.
They certainly would have.
They would have if they could have, but they couldn't, so they didn't.
Those
Say what?
bad people.
I know. Anyway, so A is just a majority, which I don't buy, because the safer way to do that is for a majority would be B. D you said was just 2/3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now your case was a 2/3 for suspension.
Right. Required in the bylaws.
Right. Required in the bylaws. I'm still sticking with B.
Majority with notice.
Correct.
It's D.
It is D.
I don't know about expulsions, so let's look at it, because it seems like you'd need notice. I would have a problem with expelling somebody without notice.
See, I would argue that the investigation and such prior to that would be would include notice, because they're telling you you're being investigated for removal.
Dave, the Bunchy on a transparent background is thanks to Sam Bowler, who sent it to me. But he is much better. And Bunchy has something to say to you. I don't know if expulsion requires a trial. Removal of an officer requires a trial.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Now, do I
That's a fair point I hadn't thought of.
Now, do I think expulsion should require a trial? Yes. Does Roberts? I don't know. Should libertarians? Fucking yes. So let's look this up.
Okay, the sections under dealing with offenses in a meeting.
Well, I would think this would. Well, let's. Did I give you the? Oh.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, so it's offenses in a meeting.
Section 61.
What about offenses not in a meeting?
See, this is where I'm going. Wait a second.
Dealing with offenses in a meeting. We know about that. You could throw them out of the meeting, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. If a member denies having said anything proper, the words recorded by the secretary can be read to him, if they're recorded. And if necessary, the assembly can decide how to by vote whether he was heard to say them. On the demand of a single member, other than the named offender, who is not considered to be a voting member while his case is pending, the vote on imposing a penalty must be taken by ballot unless the penalty proposed is only if the offender be required to leave the hall for all or part of the remainder of the meeting. Expulsion from membership requires a 2/3 vote.
Is that all it says?
That's all it says.
That is bad.
Okay, I'm going to raise hell on this question because that statement does not belong in this section. This section is about offenses occurring during a meeting, not kicking you out of the membership entirely. And the very next section talks about offenses elsewhere than meeting trials. And then it goes into section 62 about removal from office, other remolitions for dereliction of duty and officer misconduct.
Okay, it says here, as explained in 61 and 62, the removal of an officer for cause or the discipline of a member for improper conduct may require that charges be preferred and a formal trial be held. So where does it say in 61 about a trial, which is of members? You're not dealing with officers.
See, it doesn't. That's the thing. Because 61 starts about discipline of members and guests.
I don't see where it says...
And then it goes into principles involving discipline at meetings.
Oh, right here.
Then it goes, other than meetings, trials.
Oh. Where?
Just a little further down on section 61, it's here.
Oh. Okay. So if it happens during a meeting in front of everyone, they're saying you could just expel them from membership with a 2/3 vote. Is that what they're saying?
That's what I'm reading this to say.
But
that's not what the question's asking.
But if it happened other than in a meeting where the people present wouldn't necessarily have direct knowledge, it would require a trial. I think expulsion should always require a trial.
I agree with you. What they're saying here is that if it happens in a being, it's an instant trial. Is what the implication here is.
Okay.
Now, Dave asks, wasn't a member of the Judiciary Committee expelled by a simple majority? The answer to that is not as far as I know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you referring to, Dave?
We've never expelled... National has never expelled anybody.
I've never heard of that happening.
We don't have... Now, I know expulsion does not need to be named in the bylaws. This is a big dispute. Because of it, I tend to take the position that the convention can expel somebody from membership of the LP, but the LNC cannot, and I will fight to the death to keep the LNC from ever having the power to expel anybody. But I don't know what you're talking about, because the National Party...
The Judd comment, I don't know what you're talking about.
Has never expelled anybody at convention or otherwise. And when you're saying expelled by a simple... Are you saying removed from the JC? That's not expelling.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's referring to.
And I don't remember anyone ever getting removed from the JC either.
The closest thing we've had was the Kinsella thing, where he wasn't recently, where he wasn't totally eligible in the first place. So that just made the position vacant, and once he was eligible, we voted him in anyway.
So Richard Brown says section
663, E, last sentence. Next page. Or there? No, wait.
No, that's one.
Okay.
So E, last sentence.
Yeah, right there. Expulsion.
Penalties appropriate in disciplinary proceedings against members are discussed in 61-2 for expulsion of 2/3. Yeah, but even if it occurred in a meeting, there should be a trial. Like a formal trial.
And that's also not what this is citing.
Yeah, there should be a formal trial. So Dave, let me know what you're...
That's in the current one, or the old one.
Let me know what you're talking about, Dave, because I have no idea at all.
I'm totally confused too, so... Because I really don't know what he's talking about either. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know what you're referring to.
Like, I'm just even thinking back in history. I've never heard of anyone on the... Even being removed from the JC. Which I don't even know how you would do that. How would you remove a JC member?
According to our bylaws, the
LNC can't.
No, unless the JC under Roberts could do it themselves. But then it would require an independent committee to investigate and everything else. Theoretically, we could, as a JC member, we could go through this whole process with our own committee to do it under Roberts.
I don't think...
But that would be totally independent of anything the LNC would have been.
I don't think a JC member can be removed.
I'm not totally sure.
They could be removed by the appointing body, which is the convention. So a JC, since JC terms are now 4 years, they could be removed by an intervening convention. Like Possibly. You guys got elected this convention. I think if somebody thought somebody on the JC was doing a terrible job, at the 2024 convention, the convention could remove a JC member, but the JC can't remove its own number. Because the LNC can't touch the JC.
The LNC can't touch us at all. And the thing of... Yeah, I know it's supposed to be what the Roberts requires, not what the LNC does. What we're saying here is that what could the JC do, because it's not covered.
No, but I think he was even referring back to me saying that all expulsion should require a trial. And he's saying, well, just because Roberts doesn't require it for offenses in the meeting, the LP could...
You can make an argument here, though, that offenses in the meeting, because they stop everything and say, wait, well, what did you say, and so on. That's almost like an instant trial.
No, because they have to leave the room. Like, it talks about the accused having to leave the room for the vote.
During the meeting?
Yeah. I think it's in that section Richard just mentioned. And a trial means, you have time to prepare. You can't just expel somebody, like, on a moment's notice like that. And when I say can't, obviously Roberts is saying you can. I mean, you can't as in, I don't think you can morally do that. Not in a libertarian body, at least. I'm not going to judge what other bodies do, because they have their own culture.
A motion offered in a case of this kind can propose, for example, that the offender be required to make an apology, censure, or leave the hall during the remainder of the meeting until they're ready to apologize.
Right here.
It can be required.
Right here.
Can be required to leave the hall during serious penalty, but should be allowed to present his defense. So they can. It's an option. It's right here. It can be required to leave the hall. Doesn't mean it has to be.
But look right here. It seems to say like he is called back into the hall.
So we have a contradiction again.
Well, what does yours say on this section? You're in a different section.
Where you? You're in 63. That's offenses outside. That's trial. I'm talking about offenses occurring within the meeting. That's back in 61.
Yeah, but this is referring back to 61. It's referring back to...
Once again, we have a contradiction in Roberts.
Yeah, but what does your section say under F here?
Oh, that's 63?
Yeah.
Hang on. Dave Davis is looking into it because he's trying to figure out 60. Hang on. I'm trying to find what you're talking about here. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm trying to find it. F. After voting is completed, the accused is called back in the hall. Has the result. When all closing arguments have completed, the accused must leave the room. That's during a trial. Okay. But during the issue about offenses during the meeting,
okay, well,
it's optional.
This section is not well written.
No, it's not. And they have two different procedures for two different issues.
Yeah, this needs to be really cleaned up.
It needs to be made a single process for both cases.
This section I never did like very much.
Back to this, though. This is explicitly referring to offenses in a meeting.
It has to with that.
Right.
With the way it's... Dave, how long back are you going? Because if you're talking about Vermin Supreme, he wasn't removed.
No.
And he's the only LP presidential candidate
that I can think
that
of
we've had on the JC in my memory.
Well, Johnson wasn't, going backwards. Benarek never was.
Yeah.
Barr, hell no.
Yeah, but you're only dealing with the people who actually got the nomination. I'm talking about people who even ran for it.
Ruart was on both, but I don't think this had anything to do with her.
No. So I think he's talking about Vermin Supreme, and he was not removed. He recused himself from Massachusetts because he lives there.
Right.
And he was involved in the Massachusetts party. But he was just like took everything very lightly, but he didn't say anything inappropriate. He just is a joke.
Unless this is going way back.
Well, he wasn't ever on anything before. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what time frame you're talking about, but if you're talking about a time frame within my time in the party, no.
Okay, I understand what the question here is asking. The question asks it terribly.
Well, the whole section is written...
Because there's no context as to what they're talking about.
Yeah, the whole section is written terribly. We could do better.
Yeah, I know we could do better. Because we also ascribe to a simple principle. Keep it simpler.
We need to write the cult rules of order.
I thought about that, actually.
We need to do Robert's Rules of Order, the cult edition.
The unauthorized cult edition. Roberts is supposed to be done without going into the verbal diarrhea of Roberts.
Under.
You playing a keyboard?
Under. There.
She's trying to stick her fingers underneath.
Reach under. Do it.
Are you being fond of me? I know you love me. Are you being fond of me?
I'm being fond of you.
Okay.
Do you consent?
Why not? Why not? We'll get the what you call it.
The what you call it. I always love it when you get the what you call it out.
We'll get the what's the term when you vote on something in one committee, then you do it again to confirm it?
Ratification?
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
No.
We'll get the ratification.
Yeah, Dave's saying 2016 or 2020.
That would be Johnson, and no. Gary Johnson was never on the GC
Well, no,
committee.
remember, we're also talking about nominees, but no. There's been...
Jorgensen was definitely not on there either. I'm
no,
not sure
neither was Feldman or McAfee or any of those people. Nope.
No. Oh, Vermin, not Vermin Supreme.
No.
No. We've not had a presidential nominee be on the Judicial Committee
that got the nomination.
that got the nomination in the past 20 some odd years. At least not as long as I've been around anyway. A couple candidates have wound up. His name starts with an A.
I don't know if we've ever had a nominee whose name started with an A.
I don't either. I'm drawing a major league blank on that one.
We haven't had any nominees whose name started with A.
And you should know, but in the historical committee.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily forget, but we haven't.
I can't think of anybody.
Yeah. Brown, Badnerick, Barr, Johnson, Jorgensen, even going back, Berglund, Clark, Paul.
I can't think of any of them.
Hospers, McBride.
Who was in 96? That was Brown, too.
That was Brown.
Who was 94? Who was 92?
92, I think, was Berglund.
Berglund? Okay.
88 was Paul.
Right. 84.
I don't remember who 84 was.
80 was
84
Clark.
might have been Berglund.
80 was Clark.
84 might have been Berglund. So
Yeah.
88 was Paul. And who'd you say?
80 was Clark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I think it was Berglund.
Well, McBride was back in the 70s. So, yeah.
McBride was 76.
Yeah.
Clark was 80.
Right.
I think Berglund was 80.
I know Clark is 80. His bumper sticker's
Yeah.
right here. at the
I
table.
think 84 was Berglund.
It
88
may.
was Paul.
Right.
92.
Maru was 92.
Okay, Andre? Is that who you mean with an A? Yeah, 92 was Andre Maru. He was never on the JC.
No.
Not that I know of.
Not
And he
that I
certainly
know of.
was never removed from the JC.
Not that I know. Maru was always held in high regard by everybody in the party.
Yeah.
He was always one of those. He was one of those. There was guys that I don't think was anything.
Yeah, so 92 was Maru, 96 was Brown.
Because Maru wasn't. Maru was Brown's running mate in '96, wasn't he? Or was it not? Or was it 2000? One of the two.
Okay, Dave, you're talking about someone who ran, not Vermin Supreme. Vermin Supreme ran. Like, if you're saying it wasn't the eventual nominee, then Vermin Supreme would qualify because he did run for our
Yeah,
nomination.
I can only think of two people, and okay, it was Paul in '88. Thank you. But I can only think of two people who fit that description, and the other one is Mary Ruark. I know it ain't her.
Yeah. The question is no. No LP nominee, presidential nominee was ever removed from the Judicial Committee.
I've never heard of anybody being removed from so many period, to be honest.
Certainly not in 2016 or 2020.
Nope. And definitely not this time around either.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Which of the following statements is incorrect? A quorum is the minimum number of members.
Wait, start again.
Which of the following statements is incorrect?
Okay, is wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. A quorum is the minimum number of members who must be present at meetings for business to be legally transacted.
No, that is correct.
B, the requirement for quorum is the protection against unrepresentative action in the name of the body by a smaller number of members.
Say that again?
The requirement of a quorum is the protection against unrepresentative action in the name of the body by a small number of members.
That's correct.
C, if a provision for a quorum for a society with a fixed membership is not in the bylaws, the quorum is a majority of the members present.
What was the... No, go to D.
The number of members that shall constitute a quorum should approximate the largest number that can be depended upon to attend any meeting except in extremely unfavorable conditions.
I don't know. Start again.
Which of the following statements is incorrect?
Okay.
A quorum is the minimum number of members who must be present at meetings for business to be legally transacted.
I know that is correct.
Okay. B, the requirement of a quorum is the protection against unrepresentative action in the name of the body by a small number of members.
Okay.
C, if a provision for a quorum for a society with a fixed membership is not in the bylaws, the quorum is the majority of the members present.
Oh, that's wrong.
And then D, the number of members that shall constitute a quorum should be approximate the largest number that can be depended
It's
upon.
C. C is wrong.
Any meeting except unfavorable conditions. You're saying C.
Yes.
Okay. And the answer is C. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Members present is what got me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't notice that at first. It would be a majority of the fixed number.
You would read this one off. I have to go get a Kleenex before I want
Okay.
to have a nasal drip all over the place.
Okay.
We don't want to gross everybody out even more than they already are.
Yeah. Dave, there's been no judicial. We can start
Box down here, or so I have to go upstairs? Kleenex.
upstairs.
Okay.
We can throw a million names around. I can tell you, no judicial committee member was removed since 2014 when I came into the party. We've never had a judicial committee member removed, presidential candidate or otherwise. There's been none. That hasn't happened. I don't know where you got that from, but fake news. I was going to try to do a Trump impression, but I haven't even watched enough Trump to do it. What the fake news something or other. I even forgot what he said. Aren't I supposed to be like all into Trump? That's what I keep reading from the haters, and I can't even do a Trump impression. God, I'm pathetic. So I'll just drink. Ooh, should I eat some of Mike's cheese while he's gone? What do you think? Should I hide his cheese? Shh. Don't say anything. Should I hide his phone? Mike! Damn! How much boogers you doing? Oh my God. All right, well, I'm just gonna drink. Here he comes.
What am I doing?
It's time to put that statue back up. The angel guy. We haven't had him up in a while.
Yeah, but that gets in the way of the board.
So, he's thinking of Arvin. Arvin was not removed from the Judicial Committee.
No.
Arvin was almost removed from the LNC. He was not removed from the LNC, however, and he was never on the JC.
Is that what you were bellowing about?
Yeah. Yeah. He thought of Arvin as who he's thinking of.
Oh. Okay.
And that was in, not 26, yeah, was it? No.
2020.
It was still, Nick was still chair.
2020.
No, Nick, no, it wasn't 2020. It was 2019, I think.
Was when he was almost removed from the LNC.
He was
yeah.
2019.
Right, but he was trying to run for the nomination in 2020.
Yes.
And that whole
Yes.
crazy kind of torpedoed him.
Yes, but he was never on the JC. So that's who he's thinking of.
Okay.
And it was the yeah. Now it's all making sense what you're getting at. But it wasn't the JC. He was vice chair.
Okay. So you want to go into this?
What is that? Me?
The question.
Am I asking you?
No, do you want to go into the answer to the question?
What was the question?
About the
Oh no, that's easy.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to ask you. Do you want to go into this and then back down here? Okay, here. Sorry, I feel much. I'm sorry, I had to go upstairs for blow. I feel much better now.
Oh, you should have brought down some blow. I'd like some blow.
Wrong type of blow. You're thinking drugs. You should have been thinking sex. But anyway.
Either I'm good with. I'm down with either. All right, a quorum.
Pick it up with Lydia.
A quorum.
A quorum?
Colon. A quorum's colon.
Ugh. Sounds gassy.
A, must be stated in the bylaws. B,
Should be.
is always a majority of the membership.
No.
C, is the maximum number of members allowed to vote on any one motion.
No.
D, should be stated as a number of members rather than a percentage to avoid confusion.
No, I'm going to go with A.
Must be stated in the bylaws.
Yeah.
It says D.
What?
I know. Why would you state it as a number of members?
That's absurd.
Oh, I think they mean like at the beginning convention where Susan, like last convention, said a quorum is 500 and whatever.
But that's not what the question is asking.
I know. Let's look at this. I'm agreeing with you. I'm objecting.
346, section 40.
I'm hungry.
20 to 26. You want some cheese? Where'd my cheese go? Who moved my cheese? There was 3 things of cheese sitting here.
What the fuck are you talking?
I had 3 things of string cheese here. Who moved my cheese?
What the fuck are you talking about? Oh God, I got a cramp.
Who moved my cheese?
I got a cramp. I'm gonna die.
Good execution for cheese theft. They were sitting right here next to my beer.
Did you bring them upstairs?
No. They didn't eat them either. They was going to eat them later.
I'm dying.
There was a string cheese, a cheddar cheese, and one other one. You something down your bowl, bro?
I'll give you your cheese back.
If you're hungry, you should have eaten them.
I'm dying.
Boom.
I'm dying here. Okay, go on. Oh.
I'm going to tell the LNC on you.
Oh. Oof.
I'm going to tell the LNC on you.
Yeah, go right ahead. You do that now.
It's on video. You stole my cheese.
You do that now. Oh God, that hurt.
Angela! They stole my cheese.
You got so frantic. You're like like a freaking addicted mouse.
I am an addicted mouse when it comes to cheese. So that's one of my 4 major food groups. Did I come at a bad time?
That's what she
Ask
said.
your wife.
That's what she said. Okay, come on. You hop to it, buddy. Oh, I snorted.
She snorted my finger.
Oh, God.
Pulling it? Oh. In most organizations, it is rarely possible to obtain the attendance of a majority of the membership at a meeting. No kidding. Sometimes the specification of a quorum is based on a percentage of the membership. Yes. Mm-hmm. But such a method has the disadvantage of requiring recomputation and may lead to confusion. For example, when Susan Hogarth is in charge, when the secretary or other officer or who is in a position to certify as to the current number of members for purposes of the percentage of calculation is absent. There is no single number or percentage of members that will actually be equally suitable as a quorum in all societies. No kidding. The quorum shall be as large as the quorum should be as large a number of members as can be reasonably depended on to be present at any meeting except in very bad weather or other exceptionally unfavorable conditions. But it doesn't say that it's a specific number.
Yeah. It just says it could be confusing.
Yes.
It's a bad question. I would add that to shitty.
I'm happily adding that to shitty.
I'd definitely add that to shitty.
Because to me, yeah, you got to recalculate for a percentage, but at least it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine a national convention where we had to have where we set a set quorum at say 400 members?
Yeah, but I mean, we do have a set number, but
Just
it's
say 40% of.
but it's a calculation
members.
from a percentage.
Right. And the numbers may vary because let's face it, planes are late, weather happens,
And people, well,
people get up and walk out because they're
I
pissed.
know there is an argument as to whether people can check out or not.
Well, a lot of them are checked out during the convention. That's why they make stupid motions from the floor.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Richard thinks they can check out. Alicia says they can't. I vacillate between the two with the bylaws language.
I would argue that having a check-in and check-out is a good procedure to have because it gives you more accurate numbers.
Yeah, but I don't know whether our bylaws allow it because Roberts does not allow that.
Our convention rules for Colorado do say it, but not the bylaws.
Right, but
Yeah.
you're allowed to. I think we have to have it in our bylaws. I think you and I talked about
I
that.
think we did, yeah.
But
That's something we got to work on this coming term, is getting those convention rules attached to the bylaws.
but I mean, I think there actually needs to be a bylaw on that. We'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
I'm on the bylaws committee this year.
Yeah. I should be there in a month, hopefully.
El Paso won't appoint you, will they?
I have no idea what the Paso's going to do.
Because our favorite person is still there, right?
Well, our favorite person is going to be there because she doesn't know when to leave.
Is she still involved, though?
I've heard rumors she is.
She keeps saying she quit. Like, quit already.
Her definition of quit leaves a lot to be desired.
Her definition of breaking up means we're still together.
Pretty much.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, because you got El Paso before, but then they fucked you over, so I could see why you wouldn't want to do that again.
Yeah. Not really apologizing.
That ain't ever going to happen. You know that.
Neither is her leaving.
But anyway, I hope you get it from the board. I didn't want to risk it.
I don't know why I wouldn't, to be fair, but
You never know. It's politics.
it is what this board loves me too, from what
It's
everything I've heard.
fucking politics. If you watch my dragon show where King Viserys was like, I'm tired of all the fucking politics. I need to clip that out because that was the best line.
See, I don't know if you noticed at the National at one point, we had finished up all of our tellers work, and we were getting ready to go into that speed round, which is where you were a little busy. I'm over at the tellers table, and I think it was Jacob goes, "See you back." I look up, and here's a can of Coors coming at me. He's like,
Jacob is a good guy.
he is.
He is a good
He is.
guy. He's really great to be on committees with.
I'm just
too.
glad you warned me before it hit me in the head. Whack!
Did you apply for a platform too?
Yes, I did.
So did I. I'm going for a board appointment on platform. I didn't think it was fair to go for both on Douglas. So,
Well, Sean will be fine.
oh no, Sean will be good. So since if I had to pick one or the other, our platform's very stable.
Yes, it is.
And I have to tell you, as a member of the convention committee who's in charge of business, because our platform is stable, we are not allotting much time to platform.
That's great because we have some things we have to really get fixed in the bylaws.
Yeah, we're probably only going to allot a half hour, 45 minutes to platform. And we're going to
The
allot...
reality of it is the bylaws have some holes we got to fix that we found since we merged.
If we don't do anything with platform, I'd be fine. Our platform is fine.
And to be fair, I've got proposals written for half of those.
Yeah, our
Why? Because
platform...
I work ahead, folks.
Yeah, our platform is fine. But anyway, I am applying to be on platform. But if I don't get on it, I'm not going to cry.
Where's the questions?
Oh, are you asking me now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Steal my cheese, cheat on the questions, man. Can't take you anywhere. Okay. Oh, fudge. This is an easy one. Election by plurality votes requires the minimum number of candidates or propositions be at least A1, B2, 3C, D4 or more.
What?
What's the minimum number you need for a plurality vote? Let's put it that way.
You don't... One?
For plurality?
Oh, that makes no sense. Sometimes you only have one candidate. So 3?
It is 3.
Okay, because so you could have less than a majority.
Yeah.
But you could have an election that you say, this is going to be by plurality, and then when nominations are opened, only one person gets nominated. It's still your rule, it's plurality.
Well,
Plurality doesn't mean you have to get less than 50%. It just means you can be elected with less than 50%.
Right.
I got this question right, but it's not a good question.
I think it was an easy question, to be honest.
It's not a good question, but I'll take it. I'll take kicking your ass. Kicking your ass for 500, Alex?
Kinky, aren't you?
I am. You know that.
That's why you're wearing a bullet, bro.
Yeah.
What caliber?
What caliber do you want, baby? Are you ready?
Don't let me answer that question. We'll get banned from YouTube.
Okay, I get this wrong all the time. Well, maybe not. Maybe not with all the
That reference
answers.
to the previous question? Or
No, this one. I didn't look at the answers yet, so maybe the answers will be obvious. I only looked at the question and said, shit, I always get this wrong.
Okay.
The unqualified motion to adjourn is A, a privileged motion.
Oh, God.
See, me and you both always get this
fucked up.
wrong. B, in order when another has the floor. C, debatable and amendable. D, in order while the assembly is engaged in voting.
Okay, first of all, what do they mean by unqualified?
They mean you're going to adjourn right then.
Right then and there.
Right. It's not at a certain time.
Full stop, full breaks,
Yes.
we're done now. Okay, now give me the choice. Okay, so unqualified motion to adjourn.
Is A, a privileged motion.
Okay, B,
Is in order when another has the floor.
no.
C, debatable and amendable.
No.
D, in order when the assembly is engaged in voting.
No. It's A.
It is A, but I have no idea why.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm saying A, okay?
Because none of the other ones make sense.
Yeah, elimination.
But we're going to look at this.
Elimination. That's the only reason.
Because I got to get this through my head. I look at this. I fuck this up all the time. And every meeting, I have to look it up. So I didn't even look at the back because I want to go to the tinted pages. Because that is like the quick way to look at this shit when you're in a meeting.
Oh, it's over here. I'm like, what am I looking for? I was like, where'd it go? But never mind.
A,
It's in front of my
adjourn
nose. I just didn't see where you put it.
ordinary case in societies. That would be the unqualified motion to adjourn. So it says it's privileged. It's not in order when another has the floor. It must be seconded. It's not debatable, amendable, majority. Can't be reconsidered. Okay.
The privileged motion to adjourn, which is always moved as an unqualified form with no mention of time either for adjourning or for meeting again. Yeah, okay.
Okay. I don't know why I get this wrong all the time. It just confuses me.
Because there's two different types of adjournment.
I know.
Different motion.
Okay, so this is in the...
Yeah, the next page. A motion to adjourn is always a privileged motion except in the following cases. When the motion is qualified in any way, as in the case of motion to adjourn to at to or a future time. Or two, when the time for adjourning is already established, because they've done a previous motion or the program setting the time, or because of order of business, the bylaws, other governing rules prescribe it. Or three, when the effect of the motion to adjourn would dissolve the assembly with no provision of the meeting, like a sine die. So yeah, so it's always privileged except if you're adjourning to time specific, or it's already been set, or it would cause a sine die. Does that make sense? I hope.
Okay, but if someone moves to adjourn, and it's not a
It's string cheese, folks.
like a lizard person.
Have you ever slurped spaghetti in your life?
Okay, if a motion to adjourn is not privileged,
Yeah,
because there's already a time set to adjourn,
correct.
and it's made when nothing else is pending, what does it matter that it's not privileged? What
think it does.
difference does it make?
I don't think it does.
And I'm thinking of last meeting because I'm doing the minutes,
Yeah.
and Nana
Yeah.
made a motion to adjourn after we passed the disaffiliation motion.
Okay.
We already had a time set to adjourn, so it wasn't a privileged motion. But what difference does it make? He made it when nothing else was pending.
Okay, in that case, it would just be an incidental main motion, wouldn't it?
It just says, I would think, yes.
Because it's not a motion relating to business, therefore it's incidental.
Well, it is. Incidental means related to business. It means it's incidental to business.
Right, but it's not main motion as in business itself.
Right.
Right. So,
But what difference does it make that somebody can't call orders of the day? Is that it? Is if someone makes a motion to adjourn and it's not a privileged motion, does that just mean that someone can say orders of the day to try to scuttle it?
well, according to item 2 here, if it's already established, then it's not privileged.
Right, but
Yeah.
what does that do though? Someone can still make it if it's not privileged. What advantage is there in it being privileged when it's made when there's no other business pending? Do you understand my question?
No, I don't.
What is
JJ, talk to us.
God? How can I explain this? There's no business pending.
Right.
I mean, no, that's not the way I want to put it, because there's other things on the agenda.
You're
There's
in-
live motion.
Right. You're in between stuff.
You're in between stuff.
Yeah.
There's a time set for adjournment.
Right.
Dustin
Or
Nana
whatever way
makes
there
a
was.
motion to adjourn.
Okay.
It's not privileged.
Correct, because the time's already been set to adjourn.
Okay, let's pretend there wasn't a time set to adjourn, and it would be privileged. What
Right.
difference does that make?
Okay. That, I think
the difference it makes is someone could have said, could have tried to scuttle Mr. Nana's even hearing that motion by calling for orders of the day.
Oh, here we go. Standard descriptive characteristic number 1.
Of what? The privileged motion?
The privileged motion to adjourn.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Takes precedence over all motions except the privileged motion fixed a time to which to adjourn.
Okay.
But not in order while the assembly is engaged in voting or verifying a vote.
Yes.
Or before the result of a vote has been announced by the chair. Except that in the case of a vote taken by ballot, a motion to adjourn is in order after the ballots have been collected by the tellers and before the results have been announced. It yields to the privileged motion fixed time to which to adjourn, but takes precedence over a motion to set a time for meeting again in the cases where the motion is not where such a motion is not privileged, that is a main motion.
Mm-hmm.
It also yields to any applicable incidental motions that may arise and that must be disposed of before the motion to adjourn is voted on. But an incidental motion that can wait should not be entertained after a motion to adjourn has been made. It's not applied to any motion. No specific motion applied to it. Is out of order when someone sets the floor. Must be seconded. Is not debatable. Is not amendable.
But what about orders of the
Requires a
day?
majority cannot be reconsidered.
Do you understand? Could I have called for orders of the day? Because then it would have taken a majority to not move on. So
Right.
if you thought that there was a majority to adjourn, tactically, couldn't you call for orders of the day? Because then the vote threshold is flipped.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
This is down in the weeds.
Yeah, it is in the weeds. So I'm just trying to find out, like, what difference does it make? In most cases, I don't think it makes a difference. I see the few that you...
Yeah, they're rattled off, yeah.
Yes. And we have someone on Twitch. Yes, I'm secretary of the LP, and we have a fetish for Robert's Rules of Order, and that's what we're doing. Okay. All right, well, who's next?
Hang on, I'm just glancing through here. Because there was a mention about, it's normally not debatable except see these pages, so I'm trying to figure out where it's debatable.
What, the privileged?
Yeah.
The privileged one's not debatable.
Well, it says specifically is not debatable, see pages 3 through 38 to 240, however. So I'm looking at 238 to 240, and I'm... Okay, because there are...
JJ missed all of our questions.
Okay, well, ask it again since he's back. Seriously.
Okay, JJ, you were at the meeting on the 11th. We're not talking about abortion in a Robert's Rules of Order show.
No.
JJ, you were at the meeting on the 11th. Dustin Nana, after the disaffiliation motion, 5 commercials. Did you hear what question we had? I'm going to say it again. At the meeting on the 11th, we heard the New Mexico disaffiliation motion. Then Dustin Nana moved to adjourn. It wasn't a privileged motion to adjourn because we were operating under a special rule of order that said we would adjourn after 2 hours unless there was a motion to extend time. You and your phone.
That was Gene
Get a
sending me a message
room.
about Maru.
Get a room already.
This is a room.
So that would have been a non-privileged motion to adjourn. What difference does it make? If you're in between business, there's no pending motion. If someone makes the privileged motion to adjourn, if there wasn't a time already set for adjourning, or the privileged motion to adjourn, like what practical difference does it make?
Or is there?
Well, there's a couple that you mentioned, but I'm
Right.
trying to figure out.
The set of those circumstances. Help us out. JJ, you're our only hope.
JJ, help us, JJ Obi-Wan Kenobi. But all right, we're going to move on. We'll see what he has to say if he does. But okay.
All right.
We always fuck that up. I got it right, but it was by guess.
Yeah, that was a weird...
Am I asking you now, or are you asking
No, I'm
me?
asking you. Well,
Okay.
no, wait a minute. That was supposed to be asked me.
Oh, but you asked me?
Yeah, I get. No, wait. No, I got this right.
Did you mark it?
I think you marked it.
No. Whatever. I marked the last one I got right.
Okay, so I need to mark it, I think. I'll have to go back and look if I marked it twice.
I'm not worried about it. But, okay, JJ says it can dissolve the assembly in an instance where the assembly will be dissolved. Okay, I get that.
Okay, give me that. I'm asking you now.
Oh.
Cheater.
I got a headache.
Well, it says you drank too much different stuff.
I need to go get some wine.
That's going to make it worse.
It'll make it better. Predict the devil to the night sky.
JJ. JJ.
Okay, where's my gavel?
I don't know. We're going to get your drawer. You're just happy to see me.
Oh, you want to hear something funny?
Okay.
Did you see where JJ got accused?
Of what?
In the LNC membership connect group, Mark, not Montoni, Mark Tunevich accused JJ of being a predatory parliamentarian.
Oh, that bullshit. Yeah, I saw
I want to
that.
get a shirt that says predatory parliamentarian.
I saw that and I was laughing because I'm like, Mark, you don't know what you're talking about.
That sounds badass. I want to be a fucking predatory parliamentarian.
You need a picture of the predator from the movie holding a gavel.
I'll be back.
And then you need, no. Then Jesse Ventura saying, I ain't got time to appeal.
Predatory parliamentarian. That just makes you sound way cool, JJ.
I like the bat signal though. JJ.
We should do a shirt though with the
gavel. The signal.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We could do it pretty easily.
Yeah, I gotta get it. I'm not a designer.
I'm not a designer, but I can picture it. I mean,
I can picture.
my head.
I'm learning more advanced Photoshop because I kind of got to.
Okay. Which of the following? This is the 26th. Which of the following can offer a motion? Wait a minute.
But did you hear the other shirt I'm going to do after November?
What's the other shirt you're after November?
I'm not doing it until November because there's a candidate using this right now, and I'm not going to steal the thunder of a candidate.
Okay.
But there's a candidate who has a shirt, you know, the Straight Outta Compton one?
Yes.
It says Straight Outta Order. Definitely doing that.
Because Weird Al actually had an album called Straight Outta Linwood.
Yeah.
That's where he's from.
But I'm not going to steal a candidate's thunder, but I'm going to make that after elections, Straight Outta Order. And we also need the gavel and the gavel signal. We're gonna have to explore that. There's a lot of creative
you'll need
people.
one holding a bottle upside down, dripping, says straight out alcohol.
Yeah, I'm already making one that says I drink and I say things, which is a Game of Thrones thing. He said I drink and I know things. I drink and I say things. I know nothing, like Jon Snow.
Or Richard Longstreth. Anyway, okay.
Someone got upset, JJ, by the way, with something you said. He called him Richard Wrongstreth. And
that's actually pretty accurate.
Somebody wrote me to complain about that.
They wrote to complain to you about it?
Yeah.
Run LNC.
I have a Run LNC shirt.
Who tended to get?
I've worn it on the show. I have a Run LNC shirt.
Okay. Wrong stuff.
Yeah, Wrongstreth. But somebody wrote me to complain about that, and
And you're sitting writing it back, going, "Well, he's not wrong."
I was just like, "Nah, I'm not." Yeah, that's
no
funny.
lies detected. Huh?
Yeah, no, but I didn't know. Gene didn't know I had a Run LNC shirt. It's still on my store.
Anyway, okay. Now let me try this question again because I totally butchered it the first time.
You know, I saw at Micro Center. It said Run CMD. I love that.
I can appreciate that being a software geek.
Yeah, I like that.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which of the following is listed in RONR as a method for creating a blank?
Gene says I is ignorant. I'm sorry, I hate blanks. What? Are you shooting blanks?
No, this is the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Which of the following is listed in RONR? It says RONR, not Roberts, as a method for creating a blank. A member can offer a motion or amendment containing a blank. B, the chair can suggest the creation of a blank.
Both of those are right.
C, a member can move to amend by striking words and creating a blank.
Is D all of the above?
D is all the
yeah, it's
above,
all the above. I didn't know about C, but I knew A and B were correct.
Yeah, that was kind of a logical conclusion as far as I was going.
Blanks need to die
In a nuclear holocaust.
crying for their mama and asking who their daddy is.
Where's Blinky in here?
Oh, Blinky. Munchie?
Munchy.
Bunchy?
Yeah. Shmoo.
Not Munchie, Bunchy.
Shmoo.
He's right here. I don't have him on here yet.
This is the blank signifier.
It keeps going. It goes for like 30 seconds.
Okay, that's a Sunday.
I get another. I get another.
Yeah, you're kicking my ass today because you're cheating.
Kicking your ass. Kicking your ass.
Okay, special.
It's coming.
She can't even get the thing right. Are you gonna play it again? For
No,
me?
no. I'm doing a different song.
No. Special.
You never heard the song "Kicking Your Ass"?
Not the one I have on my phone.
Yeah, no, the one I'm talking about. That's
Well, on
on
my phone is a chick looking around going, "I'm gonna kick somebody's ass."
No, there's a song called "A Kick in the Ass."
There's also one called "Boot to the Head." So, anyway, special meetings for non-disciplinary matters.
God, fuck that. Well, no, I like that, but fuck that.
May only be called special meetings for non-disciplinary matters.
Special meetings when you're not going to be fucking somebody over. Got
Yes.
it.
May be called only A, by the chair, B, by the board, C, was specified in the bylaws, or D, by a certain number of members.
I don't get it. Say it again.
Special meetings
Yeah, a special meeting. Forget about this. A special meeting.
may be called only A, by the chair,
No.
B, by the board,
No.
C, if specified in the bylaws,
Yeah, you have to be specified in the
or
bylaws.
D, by a certain number
C.
of members. Yeah, it's
Has to be in the bylaws.
that's yeah.
Gotcha.
No discussion needed. That's one of those. Well, duh.
Kicking the ass. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah,
Kicking
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
ass.
come here.
We need to find that song. It's good.
Only because you're winning.
Okay. Are you ready, Mr. Seaback?
No, but here we go anyway.
We're ahead now of our time.
You're ahead. I'm behind. Look at the
No,
score.
no, I meant here. But I'm not sure when we're going to be able to.
Keep on going. We got time.
I know. Well, I'm trying to figure out when we're going to go to because I do have to finish minutes. Okay. And I'm hungry.
Well, you didn't eat my cheese when you stole.
Oh, that sounds. Lydia!
You stole my cheese and didn't eat it, and that's your problem.
The motion to postpone indefinitely.
Oh, boy.
I want popcorn. Doesn't that sound good? The motion
As long as
to
it's buttered.
yes, buttered popcorn. Wayne. Okay, the motion to postpone indefinitely.
Okay.
A.
Definitely or indefinitely?
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely. Okay.
A. Can be renewed during the same session if the main question is materially amended. B. Goes to a committee with the referred main motion.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe. See?
Is a secondary motion.
D.
Is ignored if pending when the main motion is laid on the table.
Read D one more time. It's
Is ignored if pending when the main motion is laid on the table.
Because it would take precedence over laying on the table, I don't think D is correct. Okay, A was what again?
Can be renewed during the same session if the main motion is materially amended.
We just talked about that earlier, so no. B.
Goes to a committee with the referred main motion?
Oh, that's a question of which one gets right of way. And what's C?
Is a secondary motion.
Well, it's definitely C. Because it can't be a primary motion because it has to be applied to a main motion of something that's pending business. So I'm going to go with C.
It is C.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Well,
it's a secondary motion.
I had to think it out a minute because of the other parts.
Okay. Ah. Kicking the ass, it's coming, kicking.
Quit cheating, you damn
I wasn't looking.
Yes,
I want
You
popcorn.
were looking at it going, clapping.
I want popcorn.
That's not the song.
I know. I want candy, but I want popcorn. I'd settle for some candy, though.
Insert joke here. Insert joke here. Hey!
Do you remember who did that song?
I want to say Katrina and the Waves. But
No.
Okay.
Bow Wow Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. That's right. Duh. You gotta listen to Serious 80s and 8 more. Mm-hmm. That was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, it was a good song, though.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. During 30th, during consideration of bylaw amendments, those changes required in numbering articles, sections, or cross-references that cannot result in a change of meaning. A, can be delegated to the secretary or committee if necessary.
Yes.
B, should be delegated to a committee.
No.
C, should be made by amendment after the entire document has been considered.
No.
D, should be made by the chair with unanimous consent.
A.
Yes, it is A. Can be delegated to the secretary or a committee.
Or a committee.
Style committee.
Yeah, or a committee.
Thank you very much.
Generally, it's the secretary.
Yeah.
To do just basically, it's just saying if all that's changing
That's a format
is the
change.
letters. No meaning is changed.
It's a format
and,
change.
and so many people at convention agonize over you didn't do the strike down subsection A, and it's going to become subsection A, so I'm going to move to amend. It's like, fuck you.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. You pedantic bore.
And we've gotten to the point where we specifically say it renumbers subsequent sections.
Yes, subsequent.
Yeah.
Subsequent. But that's the way Robert says to say it.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, subsequent.
Subsequent, however you pronounce it.
Subsequent. That sounds so pretentious. Do you stick your pinky out when you're drinking tea?
No. I use it to stir the tea.
Subsequent.
Say, no, I use it to stir the tea.
I don't know why Roberts gives the pronunciation for that. Like,
I've always heard it pronounced that way because sequent is related to sequence. And sequential.
Let's see if we can find where it tells us how to pronounce
It's going to be in the bylaw section.
subsequent.
It's going to be like section 56, I think.
It doesn't say it in the index, but it is in there because it drives me crazy every single fucking time. We'll find it when we can look up.
It's in section 57. I can guarantee you that.
It's in a footnote. I know that. It's in a footnote. I'm not so sure it is in the bylaw section. I think it's earlier. I actually do think it's earlier. I think it's like in the beginning of the book, actually, to be honest with you. But it is definitely a footnote that tells you how to pronounce subsequent as subsequent. JJ, do you know where it tells you? Do you have like the Kindle version or the
I'm actually going to be ordering the PDF version soon.
Yeah, that's not. It doesn't. Oh, PDF is not PDF.
No, there's a version out there that's PDF though.
No, it's a USB. It's not PDF though.
It's a PDF on a USB.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
That's what they said on their webpage.
No, it doesn't work on a Mac. It's a Windows only readable type thing. So it's not a strict PDF.
No.
Because I would get it. Why
can't they get it?
Because they're like
because they're stupid.
They're welcome to GeoCities. That's why.
Yeah, no shit. And always offline.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of precedence, not subsequent.
Precedence.
I think it says precedence.
No, that's precedence.
Hold on. Let me know, JJ. Is that what I'm thinking of? I thought it was subsequent.
It's precede, but then you add the ends. The
then why isn't that? Then why isn't subsequent the same way?
In the story,
you just argued against herself.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
That's the grammatical rule.
Okay. Who's talking to who now? Because I'm trying to find this footnote. JJ, help us.
He's looking for a footnote.
I'm going to find this. Boink. Okay. Anyway,
It's free double cheeseburger
right
at
there.
McDonald's.
No. Precedent? No.
Is that a shorty or a longie?
No.
The CED
Precedence.
there, JJ?
Precedence, not proceedence. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Is it precedence or precedence? Or is it precedence?
It's precedence.
Or is it precedence?
The accent is on the first syllable. Sorry, not sorry. Who's asking who? I'm asking you.
Yes, you're asking me.
Okay.
October 1st, I believe.
It is.
Okay.
The effect of striking out words from a primary amendment to strike out words
Okay.
is to A. Reject the main motion. B. Allow another amendment. C. Leave the words in the main motion. D. Reject the primary amendment.
Say that beginning part again.
You say beginning fart?
Part.
Settle down, Beavis.
Shut up, Beavis. Why am I the straight man all of a sudden?
What, you're not straight? I thought you were straight.
I am straight, but it's just narrow.
The effect of striking out okay, 5'8".
Footnote 2.
I knew there was a footnote on this stupid ass thing. 5. Yeah, right here. Look at the assholes. Look at the assholes. Pronounce precedence. Hahnemann wrote that, didn't he? Get an education, Miss Harlos.
If two motions, A and B, are related over rules of parliamentary procedure in such a way that motion B can be made while motion A is pending, and when stated by the chair, can thus temporarily replace A as the immediate pending question, motion B takes precedence.
There's a footnote.
It's leviosa.
Precedence. Now I know.
Over takes precedence on motion A and motion it, etc. and so on.
Precedence.
Leviosa.
And this is why I say nap. And this is why I say precedence. Precedence.
No. It's precedence.
Are you ready again for this question?
Are you done snorting? Whatever you're snorting over
Oh
there?
God, I wish I was snorting something good. Are you ready?
Insert joke here. Go ahead.
The effect of striking out words.
The effect of striking out words in what?
From a primary amendment
Okay.
to strike out words.
You're striking out words from the primary amendment.
That strikes out words.
The amendment strikes out words.
Yes.
Are both of these in there?
The effect of striking out words from
Yeah.
a primary amendment to strike out words
Ay.
is to A. Reject the main motion.
No.
B.
Although at that point you probably should start over.
B.
Wait a second. Excuse me.
Look
Sorry about that.
Listen to JJ. It's the English pronunciation.
We are not amused.
I speak English and I don't pronounce it that
I
way.
don't speak English. I speak American. But anyway.
Checkmate. B. Allow another amendment.
No, because that's a secondary amendment.
C. Leave the words in the main motion.
Not necessarily true.
D. Reject the primary amendment.
Also not necessarily true. Depends on where you're striking. Does that make sense? Because the original primary... No, think about this. If the original primary amendment is striking out words out of the main, okay, but then the secondary amendment strikes something else out.
It strikes out words from the primary amendment.
But not necessarily... Okay. But not necessarily...
But the primary amendment is striking out words. So you're striking out words from the strikeout.
So it's putting them back in the main. Right. Okay, so what's the choices again?
A. Reject the main motion.
Not true.
B. Allow another amendment.
No, because it's a secondary already. You can't go any deeper.
See, leave the words in the main motion.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is. Everyone fucks this up.
I was not totally understanding the original question.
Everyone fucks this up, and I'm going to give some credit where credit is due. The first time I've seen anyone really do it properly is John Wilford. He knew that. He's not a parliamentarian, but he knows that.
He was able to keep track of it. Yeah.
No, he explained it properly to an LNC that was thoroughly fucking confused.
In this case, I was looking. The question was confusing me in the first place because you had double strikeouts going on. I was like, what? It's basically double negative erasing each other. Is what it comes
I don't
down to.
like it.
But yet we see it all the damn time.
I don't like it. I don't
see it
like
all
it.
the damn time.
I don't like it.
I think I've done more than one time in the committee going, we're putting those words, that means we're putting these words back in. Yeah.
I want popcorn. What are you doing?
Calling Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Wayne can make some popcorn. We've got an air popper. We're placing our order. Instead of Grubhub, it's Wayne Hub. He's going to say, you never write, you never call. He's so predictable. Watch, he's going to say that. You know, Mike, you never write.
Mike!
No, he didn't, you bastard.
You never call, you never write, I was getting lonely.
You delayed the comment and almost made your wife look bad.
Wayne,
Why?
we need popcorn.
With butter and salt.
You want popcorn tonight and now?
Yes.
Especially now.
Yes, we're hungry.
You just ate pizza and there's pizza left over, but you want popcorn?
I want popcorn.
Mike, do you want popcorn?
Yes. See, we've had the alcohol, we've had the pizza.
I'm out of alcohol.
We're working on the popcorn. We're missing the chocolate. Okay, that's the 4 basic food groups here.
What kind of alcohol have you guys had?
I've had Smirnoff, and now I've had a Reds, and I'm out of alcohol.
I'm working on Michelob's.
So you want popcorn?
And alcohol.
But not together.
I will make some popcorn.
Isn't he the best?
Well, when he talks to us.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
I'm telling everybody
You're
right
lying.
now.
You're lying, dude.
All right, I'll fire up some popcorn.
Bye.
Everyone wants to marry Wayne.
I don't want to marry Wayne.
Yeah, you do.
No, I
He'll
don't.
make you popcorn.
So will Lydia if I ask her.
Lydia! Lydia!
She doesn't respond to that either.
Oh.
Reminds her too much of beauty.
I hear her moving up there. Hear it? Here she comes. She's coming.
That's not what she said.
I hear her. All right, who's talking to who?
I'm asking you. Tell Wayne I said hi. Well, tell him when he comes down.
I hear her. See? Here she comes. Boom, boom.
Oh, God. You should get this one. This would be easy. A motion to adjourn at a future time
Okay.
is
Not privileged.
A main motion, B, a privileged motion,
It's not privileged.
C, not debatable, D, not amendable.
A.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did this already.
I know. That's why I said you're going to get that one.
Look.
She's not down here, JJ.
Watch. Bitch slap. Hold on. And it's,
You realize you're going to pass. I'm asking myself a bunch of questions, get them all right in the spring.
I'm going to pass out, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne said, did he say he was going to bring alcohol? No, he only said he was going to bring popcorn.
Yeah.
I've got an LNC meeting, so I can't pass out.
No, you can. I'll just take over as secretary, and we'll tell Angela you fainted. Why'd she faint? Too much alcohol.
What? I don't know this.
Okay.
Meetings of a caucus at a convention.
Oh my God.
This is October 3rd. Like, this is weird.
This is in the deep.
Yeah, meetings of a caucus, ignore the trolls. In meetings of a caucus at a convention are governed by rules, allegedly, that are.
They're held in a dungeon.
We've done this once before. And I remember us going, what the hell?
Yeah, because we almost never deal with this.
It says we should have an episode where it's Lydia and Wayne taking over for a half an hour.
Are you kidding? Wayne will just yak about keto forever.
Yes. Meetings of a caucus at a convention are governed by rules that are A, the same as those governing convention meetings, B, the same of those applicable to a committee, C, the same as those governing a general meeting, D, those applicable to an adopted motion to consider informally.
C.
It's B, committee.
Committee.
Yep. We're going to look this up. This is so foreign.
This is down on
This
the
was
weeds.
a guess.
It was.
We've done this once before, and I think it was a couple of years ago. Well, from a calendar
It
from a
hasn't
couple of
happened a
years
long
ago.
time, yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what they're talking about, so I want to see this too.
I am not a hippie. I'm an Xer.
You're a damn stinking hippie.
No, I'm not. I was showered this morning.
I can smell you.
That's not me. I'm not the one with the apple cider under breath.
Okay, keep going. What page?
606.
What
Section
section?
58.
Section 58. Okay. Conventions. Where?
Patchouli? What?
Yeah, he does smell like patchouli. That's what I thought. Long-haired freaky people need not apply.
You look a fine, outstanding young man. I think you do. So I took off my hat and said, imagine that. Me working for you? Okay, 606, 10 to 14. This is towards the end of the section, almost towards section 59.
Where? Oh,
Section
towards the
58.
end.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. 58. No. 58?
Towards the end of section 58,
Okay.
close to section 59.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay. It's 1, 2, 3
Oh,
paragraphs.
caucuses.
Keep going down a little bit. It's the next paragraph.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
caucuses
sometimes-
were covered in here.
Go back. It starts here.
Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes caucuses are held of different groupings of delegates, no kidding, as for example, all delegates from a certain district, LNC region,
Okay, so they're
territory,
treating that like it's a caucus.
or other
Got it.
geographic areas defined by the organization, and
Oh,
are
okay.
similarly governed by the rules generally applicable to committees.
Interesting.
That's weird. I don't think I've ever applied committee rules to
Yeah,
it.
me either. All right, well, we learned something.
So, okay.
Okay, what? Is it me asking you now? No, I asked you.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're asking me.
quit cheating.
I didn't cheat. I was trying to get my thoughts together because I'm not thinking right.
Well, that's a whole different discussion, but anyway.
No, I'm hungry. I want that damn popcorn.
Oh, it's a Sunday.
Oh, you fucking cheater.
I get a second question.
You fucking cheater. My God.
I'm down points and she calls me a cheater. Whatever.
We don't do this in the LP either.
Oh, God. This is me doing it wrong.
If the office of president-elect
Okay.
is expressly provided for in the bylaws.
Which it isn't in our case.
Right. And I've never been part of a group that has that.
I've never seen it either.
A. Members never vote on any candidate for the office of president. B. The president is elected an entire term in advance. C. The member who has served his full term as president-elect automatically becomes president. D. All of the above are correct.
Okay. So, rattle it off again, please.
If the office of president-elect
Right.
is expressly provided for in the bylaws.
Okay.
A. Members never vote on any candidate for the office of president.
Possibly.
B. The president is elected an entire term in advance.
that would configure tied to A. Keep going.
C, the member who has served his full term as president-elect automatically becomes president.
Okay.
D, all of the above.
D.
It is D,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
Well, okay. I understand what they're getting at.
We used to have an ELP past chair
Yeah.
who would serve another term as immediately past chair.
Yeah, and is it Emertius? Is that the right pronunciation?
I don't
for that
know.
word?
Emeritus, whatever
Something like
yeah,
that.
that's it.
That's it. Thank you.
But
yeah.
we don't do that.
So yeah, yeah, because the idea here is that you have a president and a president-elect. You vote for the president-elect, and then they take over once the president is done, and you elect a new president-elect after the fact. So
Okay.
anyway. So yeah, that's kind of where I understand where it was going. That's why I'm like, okay, I understand what they're trying. Once it said about the first two, I'm like, okay, now I understand what they're doing.
I don't like the immediately past chair thing, and I don't like that.
It's kind of like a, pardon the expression, the consort in waiting, so to speak.
Consort in waiting? What the fuck are you talking about? The spare wife?
No, well, that's what a lady in waiting is.
A lady in waiting isn't a spare wife. It's like maid.
Yeah.
It's just a fancy word for maid.
She's a maid? You don't do your own cleaning?
But they're
She's chaste and pure. She's
they're
a virgin.
highborn
Why
ladies.
am I not surprised?
Highborn ladies who are maids. Basically. Okay, I'm ready for the question.
If you get this one wrong, we're done.
I get a lot wrong that I'm not supposed to get wrong.
We've beaten this one so far to death.
Yeah, I might get it wrong.
We've beaten this one so far to death that even the hecklers online won't get it right.
Okay.
If the bylaws authorize certain things specifically.
Then things... Okay, keep going. Then things of the same class are thereby prohibited?
A, other things of the same class are hereby prohibited. B, other things of the same class are authorized. C, by a 2/3 vote, other things may or may not be authorized.
Okay.
Prohibited. Or D, by a 2/3 vote, other things may or not be authorized.
A.
Yeah, it's A. Like I said, if you get this one wrong, we're done. That doesn't even need debate. We've beaten that one so far to death. That's not even funny.
Your ass off.
That one. Oh, okay. If there's such a thing as a gimme, that was it.
Gimme. Okay. Where's the popcorn?
Wait, where's the popcorn?
Wait! What?
I don't know.
You got a hard one.
That's what she said.
That's what she said, baby. And
That's what she said.
a recommendation from a committee. We're on the 7th.
Okay.
A recommendation from a committee
Yeah.
to postpone indefinitely
Okay.
a motion with a pending amendment
Okay.
is handled by the chair
Okay.
in the following manner.
Okay.
A.
She goes, "What the fuck are you talking about, Wills?" No.
A. The chair states the question on the amendment. B. The chair puts the question on the motion to postpone indefinitely. C. The chair states the question on the motion to postpone indefinitely. D. The chair puts the question on the amendment.
Okay, so we have a committee that has a main motion with an amendment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they recommend.
They recommend to postpone indefinitely.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back out of committee,
Yes.
and the report is before the group, whatever the group is,
Yes.
and the question is how. Excuse me. How does the chair handle it? Okay,
Yes.
So give me the options again.
A. The chair states the question on the amendment.
Keep going.
B. The chair puts the question on the motion to postpone indefinitely.
See.
The chair states the question on the motion to postpone indefinitely.
And D.
The chair puts the question on the amendment.
Okay, it's either B or C. And one is puts, one is states. Oh, I gotta think this through. Because putting the question is putting it to the vote. Stating the question.
Popcorn's coming.
About time. Stating the question.
Yay!
This is movie theater popcorn. Too much butter and too much salt.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Just the way we like it.
Perfect. Ah, thank you.
Stating the
And
question.
it is very, very greasy.
Oh, that
That's the way we
smells
like
good.
it. That's the way we like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is good. I had some.
Good.
Just the way. Let's see. So stating.
Oh, that is greasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stating the question is.
It's super greasy. I'll hold it here and I'm playing footsie with you. There we go.
Stating the question is just putting it out for debate. Putting it means putting
It's
to a
not
vote.
too salty. JJ says hi.
What?
JJ says hi.
Say hi to JJ.
Wayne
says
says say hi to
JJ.
JJ.
So
It isn't too salty. It's very buttery, but it's not salty at all.
So the question becomes debatable or not. I don't think it's debatable. Well, no, I don't think it's debatable. So I'm going to go with B.
Puts
Puts the question.
the question.
If that's what B is.
Yeah. Well, whatever one is puts.
Yes.
Don't be a puts.
It's a puts, not a puts.
B is puts,
Yes.
but let's see.
Here.
The answer is A.
A?
Yeah, you can't get to a motion to postpone until you pass the amendment.
But that was the recommendation of the committee.
Doesn't matter. Let's look it up if you want to look it up.
I'm going to look that one up because that doesn't make any sense.
I'm not sure my explanation is correct.
Section 51, 519.
This is good. I need more alcohol though. I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get some wine. But we have to decide what time we're going to because I still do have to finish my minutes.
Meetings at what time?
6.
See how far we get. Maybe 4:30.
Yeah, because I need about an hour to do my minutes.
519. You need an hour to do the minutes? Mm-hmm. How long do you do the hours? Meetings where minutes are kept, seconds are made, hours are lost, everybody leaves in the days. No lies detected.
The meeting tonight's gonna be short.
That's what she said.
It'll be less than an hour.
No. Okay. If a resolution limiting questions is referred to a committee, while a motion to postpone indefinitely is pending,
This wasn't pending,
which
this
is
was a
not what they're
recommendation.
saying here,
Because it goes away
Right.
when that happens.
the motion to postpone is ignored by the committee
Right.
and then by the assembly committee reports. But whether or not such a motion is pending at the time of referral, the committee can report the main question with a recommendation that it be postponed indefinitely or that it be postponed to a certain time. Thus, A, if no amendment was pending at the time of the referral, or B, if amendment was pending at the time and the committee recommends postponement to a certain time, the report member makes the motion for the postponement of the conclusion of the presentation. But if C, an amendment is pending and the recommendation is for indefinite postponement, the motion to postpone indefinitely cannot be made until after the amendment has been voted on.
Yep. You have to wait till the amendment's over with.
They claim it's a precedence of motions.
Yep. That's what I thought.
Okay.
That was my instinct. I didn't know for sure.
So I was under the impression that the recommendation of the committee is what becomes the motion.
That they still have to follow the precedents.
Yeah.
This is too greasy though, but it's really good. But it needs more salt.
Got some garlic in there.
It's garlic salt we put on.
Yeah.
That's why. That's our thing.
All right, give me that thing. Don't cheat.
Give me that thing, baby.
You wish.
This is good, but now I'm getting thirsty. I'm gonna need some wine.
To compute this is the 8th of October. To compute the number of days notice required in the bylaws to call a special meeting. A, include the day of mailing, weekends, and the day of the meeting, excluding holidays.
No.
B, include the day of mailing, excluding holidays and weekends, and the day of the meeting.
No, you don't exclude both.
This is a very poorly worded question.
I never forget which one you include, but you only
C,
include one of
include the
them.
day of the meeting, holidays, and weekends, and exclude the day of mailing. Or D, include the day of the mailing, holidays, and weekends, and exclude the day of the meeting.
I can't remember which one you exclude. It doesn't matter. It works out to be the same. I don't know if you exclude the day. I think you exclude the day of. I think you exclude the day of mailing. Which one was that? See?
Yeah, that was C.
C. But I don't know for sure. It works out the same. It's C or D.
The answer is D.
I always forget.
Now I'll tell you why I have a problem with this question. Okay.
So you exclude the day of the meeting, but you don't exclude the. It doesn't matter. It works out to be the same.
Yeah. Include the day of the mailing, holidays and weekends, and exclude the day of the meeting. Yeah.
It works out the same. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't include them both. You exclude one of them.
So. I don't know if it works out the same way though.
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because why wouldn't it?
Okay, well, you've got choices here. You can include the day of the mailing,
Or you can exclude it.
or you can exclude it.
And you can include the day of the meeting, or you can exclude it. But whether or not you exclude the day of the meeting and include the day of mailing, or exclude the day of mailing and include the day of the meeting, those two things are functionally identical. It works
Right,
out
but
to
the
the
rest of the question also includes whether you include or exclude weekends and holidays.
No, both of those include
No,
weekends and holidays.
That is not true. B says exclude
No,
holidays
C and
weekends.
D.
Oh.
I'm only choosing between C and D.
Oh,
C and D work out to be the exact same number of
Well,
days.
you didn't say that initially.
Yeah, I did. I already ruled out A and B. But C and D, I always forget whether you include the day of the meeting or exclude the day of the meeting and include the. But as long as you exclude one of them and include the other, it works out to be exactly the same. It doesn't matter. That's why I never bothered to remember that.
Here, trade you. That way, not rummaging around your lap for popcorn.
Yeah.
Maybe people have wrong ideas here. Or maybe we'll do. I don't know.
Oh, you know this. You fucker. You're going to catch up with me, you fucker.
They need to.
The precedence of the various rules of a society
Okay.
is as follows. A. Constitution, corporate charter, bylaws, rules of order, standing rules.
No.
B. Corporate charter, constitution, bylaws, standing rules, rules of order. B.
That was B.
C. Corporate charter, constitution, bylaws, rules of order, standing rules.
No.
D. Corporate charter, bylaws.
No. It's B.
B.
Yeah.
It's C.
What?
Rules of order come before standing rules.
No.
Yeah, they do. Special rules of order.
No. Standing rules take precedence over rules of order.
No,
That's
they
why
don't.
they're standing rules.
No, they don't. Standing rules do not. They look it up. They do not. They do not.
Then what's the point of having standing rules?
They're above your parliamentary procedure.
Which is rules of order.
No, they're talking special rules of order.
That's not what it says.
Yeah.
That's not what it says.
That's what it means,
That's
though.
not what it says.
Because not all groups have a parliamentary authority necessarily. But look it up. Let's see what
It
it
does
says.
not say special rules. It says rules of order. These are rules of order.
Let's see. But so are special rules of order.
They take precedence over this. Over
I have no
rules.
problem with calling it a shitty question because
is
it
a
doesn't
shitty
say
question.
special rules.
It is a shitty question.
But I'm just glad I'm still ahead of you. I'm getting ruthless at this point.
You're not named Ruth. You can't be ruthless. You're not named Ruth in the first place.
That means I have no Ruth.
You never had any.
That makes me ruthless.
No, it doesn't. It makes you
Do
a
I-
makes you a Ruth.
Do I have a Ruth? Standing rules do not deal with procedure. Okay.
I beg to differ. But anyway,
You're not supposed to.
page 10, chapter 1, section 2. Page 10, 31 to 35. The various kinds of rules in which society formally adopt include the following: corporate charter, constitution, and/or bylaws, right? Rules of order, which could be a standard work in parliamentary law adopted to society, and any special rules and standing rules. Okay, that's wrong. I'm telling you why that's wrong. Who adopts the standing rules? The group does.
But JJ's right. They don't have to do it procedure.
Well, what do they deal with?
it says in there, I forgot the term they use, it deals like with the deals with stuff like you have to wear a name tag at a meeting.
That's procedure.
No, it's not. It's they have a special phrase in there.
Special rules supersede any rules of order in which the parliamentary authority
Let me find what they
in which
said.
they may conflict. Yes, that's no doubt about that.
No, let me find the terminology they use. I'll know it when I hear it. Standing rules 223.
Standing rules, page 18.
223.
Standing rules are rules which are related to details of administration of society
Rather than to procedure.
Right. And those take right of way because the details of administrative of the society are what dictate the rules, not the other way around.
They don't have anything to do.
You cannot properly apply rules of procedure without the structure of the society in the first place. It doesn't work that way.
But here,
and that's from a systems engineer who's an expert on it.
But here they list it in precedence, rules of order, and then standing rules.
And I'm telling you, it's wrong. You cannot have rules without a structure to have them applied to. And the structure has to be established at a higher precedence by definition.
Kick in the ass, it's coming, kick in the ass.
Put it to you this way, okay? What's the charter do? Establishes the organization, right?
The existential thing.
Exactly. What's the Constitution do?
Same thing, it just doesn't have as much authority.
What's the bylaws do?
Deal with procedure.
Deals with structure.
No, the Constitution's supposed to deal with structure. When you don't have a Constitution, the bylaws do both.
Right. What's special rules? Procedure.
Procedure.
What's standing rules?
Administration.
Structure. That's structure.
Administration.
That's structure.
No, it's
Yes,
not
it
structure.
is.
The structure means things that are existentially essential to
Administration of the society is not
No.
not fundamentally necessary.
It's not, because it could
change.
it can change, and the character of the society hasn't changed. So if you have a standing rule that says you have to wear a name badge, if all of a sudden that got repealed, it's not a different society. However, if your charter says you're here to promote libertarian candidates, and then it gets changed to you're going to oppose libertarian candidates, that is a fundamental change in the existential character of the society.
Right, but that's something that's not falling under a standing rule. That falls under
Right, charter.
a higher level. Yes.
Yeah, but that's why it couldn't be in a standing rule, because standing rule are things that are
I agree. That's
are
not a
window
standing rule.
dressing.
No, standing rules have to do with structure the same way bylaws do.
Not at all.
Sure, they do.
No, they can be suspended even.
Yeah,
Bylaws can't,
bylaws can be repealed.
but they can't be suspended.
You can suspend them by the effect of repealing them for a term and then reinstating them.
But that's still
That's suspending them if it's doing it a different way.
that's not suspending. That's amending. That's repealing. Suspending is a
It
temporary.
has the same
thing.
effect.
There's no guarantee that you're going to put them back into place. You can't pass a motion that says, well, we're just going to
Pass a motion that says that this bylaw is repealed until X time. That's perfectly in order.
No, you can't, actually. No, you absolutely cannot, because you can't make a decision that binds the hands of a future assembly in that
What
way.
if it's the same assembly? Then you can do that all you want.
They can always... No, you can't do that with bylaws. You just can't. That you can't suspend bylaws. You can't suspend bylaws by converting one type of motion into another type of motion either.
In that case, the ultimate interpretation of the bylaws of society is not made by the society, which contradicts one of the fundamental premises of the whole thing in the first place.
You can't
Because
have
they're making that interpretation.
you can't have an interpretation that is blatantly and purposely against your parliamentary authority. I like something that General Roberts said that JJ brought up, or somebody brought it up. I think it was JJ in that Roberts Rules of Order forum. You can't say that we can do what we want in effect, which makes any rule of no effect and just makes it mob rule. because we get to interpret it. General Roberts said these rules, and it reminded me of what the founders of the country said about the Constitution. They can only exist, and there could only be a proper society with people who are agreeing to operate within the rules, and not say, well, the rules are what I say they are just because I have more votes. That's bad faith in an organization.
No,
and
it
if
actually goes to the fundamental structure of rules in the first place.
No,
you can make them out to be what the hell you want because they're just that. They're rules.
No, I wouldn't want to be in a society that can make rules to be whatever they want when they know damn well that's not what it says. That's bad faith.
That's our government.
Oh, our government is bad faith, and I don't want to live there either. But, yep. The standing rule, JJ puts, yeah. I use the name badge one, but that's another standing rule thing. Here, I don't want to eat all this
I don't
without
consider
you.
that to be a standing rule. I consider that to be either a procedural thing or just a rule of the body, which is nothing for the purposes of the situation. That's not a standing rule.
That's the classic example of a standing rule.
It's a bad example. See, the problem is this. Roberts needs to read Mr. Kevin Carson. Because they obviously haven't. Because here's a little rant, but it makes the point.
Are you going to rant while I go get some wine?
Go get some wine.
Okay. I want to take some popcorn with me.
The reality of it is this. You cannot have procedure in operation within a society without structure to the society. Therefore, the structure of the society takes precedence over the rules. You cannot have the rules take precedence over the structure of society because that doesn't make any sense. Or to quote the phrase, you got to have the framework before you hang the meat on the hooks. Now, speaking as a systems engineer who designs and develops high-tech systems for various customers, that's how we do it. You start off by defining what in the hell you're going to be doing and the structure of how you're doing it. You lay out that structure, and then you fill in the details of how you get there, how your process gets there. You define your process based upon the structure of what you're doing based on the objectives in the first place. That's how you engineer a system. That is how you organize a society. The structure requirements, which are not procedural, take precedence because you have to have them in place for the procedure to make any sense in the first place. The procedure does not exist independent of the structure.
This is going to be a fun meeting tonight.
What'd you get?
A lot of wine.
What kind of wine?
Sangria.
Okay.
Okay, who's telling who?
I'm telling why structural analysis says they're wrong. But anyway, that's you're asking me, or no, I'm asking you now. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yep.
And just don't mind me while you're asking me. I'm
Yes,
listening.
the chicken has to come first because the chicken can't lay the egg unless the chicken's there first. Exactly. I don't do Grateful Dead. I prefer music.
Okay. Let's go.
right.
Wine.
If a committee chairman fails to call a meeting of the committee, A, the committee can't meet.
Bullshit.
B, the committee must meet on the call of the president.
But what? That's the same thing.
No, they're talking about the...
Oh, they're talking about the assembly's president.
Yeah, the chair, not the committee chair, yeah. C, the committee must meet on the call of any two of its members. Or D, the committee is dissolved.
C.
Yeah.
It's two of its members.
So, and that's in there on purpose to make sure that you get the business done.
Yep. Whoa. There we go.
So
Oh, I'm getting grease all over my crotch. Nice.
that's what Gene said.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, the Sunday one skips it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can have your conniption for it. The trial is a formal hearing on the validity of the charges.
Tell that to the former LMC.
I know. You'll get no argument from me.
God, I'm going to be traumatized for life over that shit.
I'm sorry. They fucked you over.
They
Yeah.
did, without
I-
lube, man.
Yeah.
Without any crotch grease.
That never should have happened to you.
Those are some terrible, terrible people.
Well, they can rot in hell without a trial.
Wrong, Strath. Crotch grease is now going to be a standard part of our lexicon.
All right.
Would you like a sip?
No, it's okay.
I love sangria.
I don't do many wines, so.
That's one of the form. But
Yep.
you never know in this party. Some of them might get reelected.
A proviso to a bylaw amendment.
Uh-huh.
A, should be included in the body of the bylaws.
No.
B, can be proposed after an amendment of the bylaws has been adopted.
Yes.
C, is not attached to the bylaws after its adoption. Or D, is adopted by majority vote.
It's D.
You sure?
A proviso is adopted by a majority vote.
But you said B was right.
I know, but D is more right.
Yeah, D is right.
I still think some of those others are right.
Except, wait a minute. Here's the question. Does
Stargazer wants some popcorn now too. I know.
if
It's delicious. I bet you want some popcorn and sangria. It's fucking delicious.
okay, now here's my question.
I don't.
And I may be overthinking this.
You're
but-
overthinking it because D is unquestionably right.
Well, D as a majority is subsumed by a 2/3 majority to pass the whole thing.
Yeah, after right, but
Yeah.
to add the proviso is like any other amendment.
Well, it doesn't say to add it. It just says a proviso to a bylaw amendment.
Is adopted by a majority vote.
It doesn't, but it doesn't say that you're adding it. It's just saying it's there.
Well, that's what it is. Adopting is adding it to a bylaw amendment.
But the committee uses it separately. But, anyway.
But the bylaw amendment hasn't been adopted yet.
I mean, A is clearly wrong. Doesn't include
Yeah.
the bylaws. B, you don't propose after the amendment's been adopted. That's just dumb. And C, because it's part of the amendment.
Right.
And C is not attached afterwards. No. D is left by definition.
Yeah, but it's adopted as as part of the proposal by a majority vote. It doesn't mean the proposal is yet adopted.
Fair enough. Well, usually they're included with the committee report. Here.
Not always.
So usually.
Yeah. Okay. Which of the following, we're on the 13th. Which of the following requires no second, is debatable, but not amendable? This sounds like a riddle.
Okay, sorry.
What's red and white and black all over? Okay, which of the
I'm
following...
bleeding skunk. Anyway, say it again.
Which of the following requires no second,
Okay.
is debatable,
Okay.
but not amendable?
Is debatable but not amendable.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need a second.
Yeah. A, an amendment to a motion to refer.
No.
B, a motion to create a blank. C, to substitute a minority report for the committee report. D, a proposal to fill a blank.
D,
It is D, but I have no fucking idea why.
because that's the only one on that list that doesn't require a second.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was listening carefully.
Okay.
That one, yeah, that one I was when it said doesn't need to be seconded. That immediately
So you didn't even listen to the other things?
it
You were like,
narrows it down to a very select few
Okay.
things.
because the whole debatable and amendable thing like threw me for a
I was
little.
waiting for either that or objection to consideration of the question.
I thought that required a second.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, it does. Objection to consideration of the question requires a second.
It's an interrupt.
Still requires a second. Let's look.
Yeah. I gotta find where the hell they put it.
There's very few things that don't require a second. Nominations, and that's basically what a proposal to fill a blank is. But let's look up
Filling the blank, I knew was right.
objection to consider of a question must. No, that mustn't be seconded. I thought it was. You're right. You're right.
I should get a bonus point for that one.
You should. I did not know that. Why doesn't it need a second, though? Yeah, JJ got that, too. But JJ's just a big show-off. If you didn't know that already. Just a big show-off. He's also an asshole. Did you mark yours?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I thought you did, but I wanted to make sure.
That one was simply a case of when you said not secondable, it's like, okay, that one I can figure out. Because there's very few things that don't require a second, and that's a motion to fill a blank doesn't, because anybody can throw a number out or whatever, and the objection consideration doesn't require, because I've used that before.
I don't get. Okay, we'll have to. This question's confusing me. The action required
Yeah.
to refuse to proceed to the orders of the day.
The action required to refuse to go to words today.
Yeah, when
Okay.
initiated by the chair.
Wait a minute. Who's asking who here?
Oh. Yeah, well, now I'm asking you again. You get a second one
get a bonus
because I
question.
started looking.
I get a bonus question.
Yeah. The action required to refuse to proceed to the orders of the day when initiated by the chair.
Okay.
That whole initiated by the chair has thrown me for such a loop.
Okay.
Is A. A, demand by a single member. B, a majority vote. C, a 2/3 vote. D, a 2/3 vote in the negative.
Okay, this is a refusal of the chair to proceed to orders of
No,
the
that
day.
isn't what it says.
What is it saying then?
I don't really
Try
understand.
to
Okay.
restate it, please.
I can't restate it. I'm just going to
Well, then
state
just
it.
State it again.
Okay. The action required to refuse to proceed to the orders of the day when initiated by the chair
Okay.
is A. A is A.
Yeah.
Demand by a single member. B, majority vote. C, 2/3 vote. D, 2/3 vote in the negative.
Okay, it's one of the last two. Okay, so this is an action initiated by the chair. Give me the first part of this whole thing one more time.
The action required to refuse to proceed to the orders of the day when initiated by the chair.
Okay, so the chair is going to go to orders of the day, but the action is to block that, if I'm reading that correctly.
I don't understand the question, so I don't even want to.
I would argue that would be a 2/3 in the negative, and it's D.
It is D. You got it. We're going to need to look at this because I have no fucking idea what this is saying.
Okay, let me walk through my thinking on this
And
one.
just to let everyone know, we're stopping in 10 minutes because I got to finish minutes.
Yeah.
This is some greasy shit at the bottom here.
My first thought on
Look
this...
at this.
I know.
Look at that.
It's stuck. Here's what I'm thinking. First of all, because if you're going to go away from Orders Day, it's like the same as suspending the rules, which is a 2/3. That was my first line of thought.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And the question was, okay, who's initiating it? Because if the chair is refusing to go to Orders of the Day, then it's a 2/3 vote to override the chair, and a negative to say, no, you're not doing that, we're going on what we need to do. But if a member was trying to do it, then it's a rule suspension, 2/3 and a positive.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we don't need to look then. I get it.
I won't look anyway.
Okay. And then you get this here. It's one of the unclassified motions. What the fuck does that mean?
It means it's not stuck with a secret.
Which one is one of the unclassified motions? Motion to objection to consideration?
It's not top secret.
Is that which one you're talking about, JJ? Shit.
Call for orders of the day. Okay.
That reminds me, I need to look at my Twitch settings because I haven't gotten any payouts from Twitch yet, and I know I made the minimum. Speaking of payouts, all super chats matter to pay for our pizza.
Okay. A call for the order of the day is a privileged motion by which a member can require the assembly to conform to its agenda, program, or other order of business, or take up a general special order that is due to come up at the time, unless 2/3 of those voting wish to do otherwise. Okay. Go on to the next page on the standard characteristics. 7. Upon a call by a single member of the orders they must be enforced, except by a 2/3 vote can set them aside. That is, the order of the day can be set aside either by a vote of 2/3 in the negative on a question put by the chair as to the Assembly's desire to proceed on the orders of the day, or by a vote of 2/3 in the affirmative on a motion by a member to extend time for considering the pending question, or suspend the rules to take up the desired question.
It's giving me a stomachache now.
So yeah, basically it's that two.
Of course, JJ wrote an article on it. He writes an article on everything. These are some greasy motherfuckers, man.
There's some swimming in here.
Wayne, damn. Okay, so I'm asking you now?
Hang
Am I asking you now?
on. I don't
No,
know. I think so.
I just asked you. You got that right.
Yeah.
So now you're asking me.
Give me a minute.
Oh, it's giving me a stomach ache. I'm going to be crabby at this meeting.
I'm enjoying this popcorn.
And then I got the Dragon Show. And then I've got, well, I got to watch the Dragon Show. Then I got to do a show on the Dragon Show. Then I got to read the Castle Rock proposed budget for next year. Because I have a... I have an interview with... it's a certain committee with the Chamber of Commerce for my campaign.
Okay.
Speaking of my campaign, Karen, CARYN 4, the number 4, castlerock.com. I need donations. But I've raised a decent amount so
Keep
far.
talking. I'm still eating.
I've raised a decent amount so far, but part of that is a gift from the LPCO,
Right.
which I greatly appreciate. But I've raised about $900.
Oh, that's good.
It's decent. But I want to be able to send out a mailer. In order to send out a mailer, I've got to raise like $5,000, $6,000. So I still have got quite a ways to go. But I've certainly paid for all my door literature and at least an initial round of yard signs.
Okay.
But I do want to get a mailer out.
Extra swag or just those?
Just those.
Okay.
Yeah. I do want to get a mailer out. And if I don't raise enough for a full mailer, I at least want to do a targeted mailer. So I am desperately raising money for my campaign.
Okay. I think I've worn that to death.
Yeah, a non-at-large seat is definitely a winnable race, but it is a three-way race.
It's a district. You're in a district, right?
Yeah.
Do they have at-large for city council?
No.
Okay.
No.
Some
So
places do, some places don't. That's what I was wondering.
we have at-large for mayor, and we do have an elected mayor.
Well, that makes sense because,
Yeah.
you have a district mayor. That'd be funny as hell.
Yeah. And the only reason we have an elected mayor rather than an appointed one is because of petitioning that Wayne did.
Okay.
He got that changed in Castle Rock.
So you guys do a mayor council versus a city manager system?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, we can have a intelligent conversation about that. What a concept.
But yeah, he petitioned to get that on the ballot, and we won.
And no, my popcorn has nothing to do with Putin. They really like popcorn. All right, where are we? Here we're here. Okay, we got 5 minutes left. This is an odd number one. Remember, that was a bonus.
Yeah, but we fucked up.
But that was a bonus question.
No, you're asking me now.
I got the bonus question because I got the other one right.
No, you got 2 questions in a row. You're not getting 3 in a row.
Why
Go
not?
ahead.
Why not? You afraid? You afraid?
I am.
You're afraid I'm going to catch up 4 points in a
Yes,
hurry?
I
One
am.
question?
I am. I want to kick your ass.
You want to run for city council and you can't do basic math? You're going to get elected.
Yeah, I'm not running for treasurer. Go
You're going to
ahead.
get elected.
Go ahead.
Notice has been given of an amendment to the
Has it?
bylaws.
Says who?
It says me. That will strike out a certain section. A member wishes to retain this section with changes that may be outside the scope of notice. The member should A. Give advance notice of the changes they propose. B. Get the group to vote down the original amendment and then offer the changes he proposes. C. Offer his changes as amendments, to the amendment originally proposed. Or D. Promise to offer the changes he proposes. The group will vote down the amendment so
A.
strike out. It is A.
Yeah, you got to give notice. You can't go
And-
outside the scope of notice. Everything else was going outside the scope of
And
notice.
I'll tell you exactly why it's A. Besides the fact you're right.
I
about the
just
notice.
said why it's A.
But B doesn't make any sense. Well, B doesn't make any sense, although you could do that. C doesn't make any sense because you can't amend outside of scope. And D, the promises might buy you a cup of coffee if you have $5 at Starbucks.
Hold on. Okay, I can't put that up on. It might be confidential. Okay, just was seeing if I got any LNC emails, which I did, which I got to review before the meeting. So we probably should stop now because I got to look at what Angela just sent me. So let's do our final scores here.
Alrighty.
So I got plus 14. Is that?
Yeah, it's 14. So you're up to 83 now.
Oh,
I was gonna say, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing, Benny? Okay, 83, and then that's 4. Okay.
Okay. So this is now 76.
Wow, I'm really ahead of you now.
Oh, yeah, that's because you cheat. But anyway.
Kicking his ass. Kicking his ass.
Cheating. See, she accuses me of cheating when she's the one actually cheating. You project, man.
Like the haters. Okay. Let's put all this away. I do need a pink thing for this, though. They don't make them.
They don't?
Not
I'm surprised.
Not on Amazon. I need to look on Etsy because somebody might make it. But
I'm surprised. I would think.
Well, it's a special.
They come in all colors.
They do for regular microphones, but this is a bigger one, you know, because I like the big ones.
You like big mics and you cannot lie. That's why I'm here.
So it's for Yeti.
Am I wrong?
It's for Yetis. A Yeti microphone, and if I find
A copy of what?
The article he was referencing. Let me turn this off. All right, y'all, we're gonna get going. And we truly appreciate you. And tonight, Dragon Show. You're not watching the Dragon Show.
I don't have cable or a dish. I prefer books and real world, like DIY projects.
And Bunchy says, take that to heart.
You know, he really needs to get some surgery for that hernia.
Okay, you got that up there? All right, we're good. We're going. Y'all have an awesome night. Say bye. Bye.
Viva! Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed? You say nay. Opposed! Opposed! The motion carries anyway.